All right, I've been having to sit here and just stare at this glass of bourbon.
All right, let's get started then.
You guys are coming.
Right. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I'm your host, Perry, and man, it's Derby Day. Happy Derby Day, everybody. I am so excited to be doing a podcast on Derby Day. This is, as Josh said, about as Kentucky as it gets. Sipping bourbon, drinking bourbon, talking about bourbon, watching horses race.
In the rain.
Yeah.
Because it's
It is a little rainy.
So that's,
but
It
that's
always
okay.
rains these derbies.
It really does. It's kind of frustrating. But two returning guests on the show. My father-in-law, Brett Bellamy.
Hello.
Josh Butcher,
Howdy.
resident cowboy.
Retired.
Retired cowboy.
And a new face on the show, Noel Rydell.
Pleasure. So happy to be here.
Happy to have you on, man. So we are sitting in the Burley Market and Cafe on grand opening day. Congratulations, first and foremost, man. This
Beautiful
is
place.
phenomenal.
Golly.
Yeah.
Thank
Really
you.
looks
Labor
good.
of love.
Really done a good job with it.
Yeah.
Heavy on the labor.
And that's okay. We are going to get started, as we always do, with Flying Blind, which is where I blind our guests with something that they don't know what it is. Two of these guys actually do know what it is, but Noel does not.
It's a special little pick. It's not what you're used to.
It's not rich. It's not robust. It's
Yeah.
kind of thin on the nose.
But there's a very specific note to it that I've been finding. We'll talk about when the reveal comes. But in honor of your new opening, cheers.
Derby
Cheers.
Day.
Cheers, y'all.
Let's clink some glasses.
That's sweet.
It was very sweet on the front, yeah.
Almost
was.
like a cognac type note.
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
like that cognac.
That's not what I was expecting at
No.
all.
Not at all. Especially based on the nose.
Yeah.
There's actually a little bit of spice, too, on the back end.
Yeah.
That was surprising me.
Yeah, I'm still getting it.
And some spice. Good classic caramel and some chocolate. Almost like a Bibb and Tucker has chocolate notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
God, you guys are so much better at this than I don't even know why you
I
have
do
me
this
on.
all the time.
Why
I mean,
am
this
I
is-
even? I'm just on here. I'm like the guy that's just sort of here, like just to,
You just want to drink the bourbon.
throw in an occasional witty remark and drink bourbon.
Yeah. But the remarks get better the more, the further we go along.
Yeah, you're just here
Either
for the
that
game.
or-
Drink the bourbon.
Either that, or we just turn the entire podcast into a dumpster fire like we did last time.
Look, man, the dumpster fire came after the podcast was over. That was an entirely
was
different
great.
story.
But mics were still live, I understand.
Mics were still live,
Yeah.
and it has been
That's awesome.
documented. Yeah.
It's really, there are no words.
But without a real bourbon review or analysis, it is a lot more pleasant than I thought it was going to be, with the nose being sort of antique shoppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't. The nose, I was apprehensive.
Were you worried?
I was
All right,
apprehensive.
Fair
The
enough.
flavor does not match the nose.
No.
All right. Well,
Not at all.
here's the reveal, Noel.
Well, this is a pre-fire JTS Brown.
We broke the tax stamp.
Well,
For
but
you.
Fantastic.
what's funny is that the tax
Well,
stamp
the-
kind of broke itself
Yeah,
away
yeah,
from the
it's
bottle.
kinda
It was just
became
like,
unadhesed.
I've opened this, but the tax stamp is still intact with the cap itself, which is
Yeah.
pretty funny.
But this is so much better than the current offering. And I love JTS Brown. I always have it in the bar. But this
Yeah.
is so much richer.
I totally agree. This is just 80 proof too.
Really?
This isn't the
Wow.
bottled and bond.
Huh.
So
And you were saying you thought that was approximately from.
91.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Pre-fire.
I've had hit or miss experiences with vintage bourbons. And sometimes you run into something that's just so old, it's just lost. It's hard.
Yeah. I think although, there are some instances where it does have that, it's all dependent upon whether or not the person that owned the bottle has kept it in a good location, a good atmosphere,
like a
space.
I was going to
Cigars.
ask about
Cigars
that. How
get
much
better
does it
with
factor
age.
in, light getting to it?
low
A lot.
All that kind of stuff.
It matters a lot. So if it's sitting out in direct sunlight and direct heat for a long time, it's going to sour. You kind of have to store it in a, cool, dark place so that it's not adversely affected by the environment.
Well, that's my dream here. In Harrison County, there used to be, I think, 19 distilleries. Mm-hmm. Someone under their stairs, in their basement, there has to be some of this bourbon still
there's got
around.
to be.
And
There's got to be.
We have to have it. We have to have it here.
Yes.
We will talk more, too, about what your vision for the future of the Burley market is.
Excellent.
But before we get there, I got to ask you guys, what have you been drinking recently? Or maybe not drinking in your all's case, based on
we
this
have a
morning.
story.
I'll have to go ahead and
Yep.
you've already heard the story, but for all the listeners out there, we had a very sort of anticlimactic morning where we got a heads up that there was some Taylor at Liquor Barn that it's become one of our sort of favorites these days, and
The
5 bottles.
Small batch.
We got the heads up on it, got there and literally watched. Who I'm sure is a very nice man. I
Not gonna
Almost punched him in the face. Total stranger.
That's not true. That's not true.
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
We
but
watched someone walk out with the last bottle as we had just raced to get
cradle under
there.
his arms like a new baby.
Yeah, I was salty about it. I really was. I didn't take it well.
To the point where you were like, I don't want to buy anything.
Yeah,
That
I'm
was
like,
the
Josh,
small
We
batch,
just
right?
sort of stormed out.
Yeah, should we hit the bourbon now?
It was a small
I had
batch.
my heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had my heart set on it,
Yeah.
and I wasn't interested in anything else at that point. I needed to have my little pity party and move on. But here we are,
Yeah.
All's
We're gonna
well
make
that-
up for
all's
it.
well that ends well. We're good.
We're going to make
Yeah.
up for it. Don't worry about that.
And we have had the new riff a little bit.
Yeah, the new riff
our
is-
neighbor that gave us the heads up on the
Oh,
Taylor.
yeah.
He's been enjoying new riff a lot, and I think it's
Yes.
a fine choice.
The bottle and bond or the single barrel?
What was it?
Do you know?
That was the
Single barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Single
Real
barrel's
nice.
so good.
The first bourbon we poured here was the new riff.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
It just seemed like the right one to do.
Absolutely.
So,
I think so, too.
Yeah. So to answer your question,
That's what we're not drinking today.
yeah, we sort of got derailed with my rant.
And
but,
won't be drinking.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been liking the Taylor when our neighbor Ben brings it over. Just we can never
Little
find
plug for Ben Bruiser.
Maybe Ben will be on the show eventually. We
wants to
keep
be
talking
on-
about we
oh,
need to get him on.
He's
just
killing
to-
him. He's looking so forward to it.
I've been lucky to be a bourbon ambassador at several events lately.
Nice.
So I've tried some stuff which was amazing and some stuff which really disappointed me. IW Harper 15,
Not good.
not good.
Not good.
It's a beautiful bottle.
Yeah.
Really disappointed me.
15.
I saw it at Costco yesterday for like $70. 15-year-old whiskey. You'd think that it would be pretty good. It's just boring.
It's
It's just boring.
It's not good.
I mean, no.
Yes. But John J. Bowman, port barrel finished, outstanding.
Man, the Isaac Bowman is one of my favorites from that line. It's so good.
I like the Bowman brothers for a regular everyday pour.
Yeah.
It's that applesauce thing that happens
I
that
agree.
only they do.
Yeah.
Isn't it the same juice as Elmer T. Lee? I think it's distilled with the same mash bill and sent to Virginia.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. It's actually bottled and finished and
Yes.
everything in Virginia. Yeah, that's right.
So
Anyway,
it's
yeah.
a great product from Frankfurt. I love it. And
Totally
here
agree.
at the bar, we have Russell's Reserve Single, and that has just been my jam lately.
Oh,
Now, is that what you made the Knoll Fashion with?
It is indeed.
Splitted old-fashioned version here, y'all.
I've had some of the best Russell's picks that I've ever had just in the past couple of weeks.
Right.
I mean, I've probably picked up 3 or 4 of them, and each one has been so different, but they've all been so good. I love Russell's picks.
They're wonderful.
I think that's maybe the only pick that I will grab and buy immediately without questioning it.
I've not had a bad one from
I haven't
the
either.
single barrel. The 10-year is a different creature.
I think it is too. I mean, it's, 20 proof points lower?
Yep.
Yeah, because it's 90 proof. But it's bizarre that it's so different.
It's a totally different creature. It's
Yeah.
thinner, and the rye is amazing.
I do like the rye quite a bit as well. Yeah. I tried recently, there was a bonus episode that came out on Friday, the Wilderness Trail Rye Bourbon Mash
That's
Bill.
what you're interested in.
That is, it's so good. It's so good. I don't have enough good things to say about Wilderness Trail. They're doing everything right.
Love it.
That's it. It's so, man.
Josh, is
That's
that from
what I-
around your
that's what I
stomping
dream
ground?
about.
Yep, that's over in Bull County.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm glad to hear. I haven't got to try it yet. I'm glad to hear good things about it. 'Cause
You really should. You really, really should.
I've heard great things about their operation and everything, so I'm excited to try it sometime.
They're on the same level as New Riff.
Okay.
I mean, they are neck and neck with those craft distilleries that are kind of popping up and doing really, really great things.
Well, it's good to see these places that come along and don't get in a hurry to
Exactly.
just put something out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I get that. You know, if you start crunching numbers and looking at things, you're going, "Oh my gosh, we got to get stuff.
Yeah.
we got to start making some money." But
Well, bourbon is a funny thing because when you bottle that, 60% is already tax, and now you're speculating someone's going to buy it 2 years down the road, 4 years down the road. It's a real gamble.
yeah, well, and some things just can't be rushed.
Yep.
Shouldn't
And
be.
bourbon's one of them.
Well, we've seen that happen where people rush to get something to market, then they get a bad name, and no matter what they do from here on out
Yes.
is tainted.
Young doesn't have to be bad though.
Right.
Like, listen, I love the chicken cock line. I won't
Yeah.
lie. I've got a real tender spot in my heart for chicken cock. And that's a great
You don't
sentence.
hear
by the
that
way,
every
so-
day.
That's a soundbite, right?
You don't hear that every day. But listen, it's young, but it's wonderful.
We're learning
Now, do
new
I-
things about everyone.
Now that sounds like something you might hear me say.
No, this is true.
I will remain silent on this.
Oh
on this
yeah,
one.
it's too early for this.
Oh, yes, way too early. We're
How
only
about
one
something
point
else? How about an Elijah Craig pick that's 11 years old?
Let's do that.
in. Ooh,
I will say this. I traveled to Japan a couple times last year. I bought some amazing bourbon there, but I took with me a bottle of this to share.
It's one of my favorite everyday sippers.
Absolutely.
Honestly. I
Well
mean, it's-
received.
Yeah, for sure. So as we're getting this next poured, Noel, I want to ask you specifically about the Burley Cafe.
So we're taking communion here.
I know.
Well, honestly, it's the most selfish business because it's everything that we
It's
drove out of
your
town to get.
there's your pour.
Did I get carried away on that one?
It's
Oh,
almost
nice.
a Perry pour.
Oh, I didn't get carried
That's
away. on
almost a
that one.
Perry pour there.
It's Derby Day.
No.
Don't judge me.
And I want, no judgment. Now, I want you to know I used Perry pour in a sentence just naturally.
I-
and
it's-
everyone
it's
knew what I was
catching
talking
on.
about.
Is it really an
It's
Urban
starting to
Dictionary?
catch
Yes,
on.
it is really in Urban Dictionary.
A Perry pour,
I will
that's
show
a-
you.
I mean, I
He's showing
believe
you
you.
right
I
now.
believe you.
I will show you right now. It's one of my crowning achievements.
That's awesome.
see.
There it is.
Generally referring to bourbon, this is just a large pour of wine or spirits, often thought to be a heavy-handed pour.
Read the example
Oh, here's
sentence.
an example.
That's a lot of bourbon, champ. Quite the Perry pour.
Oh, champ.
It's the champ there
Yeah.
that really gets me.
Old sport. Old sport.
Anyway, Noel, let's talk about the Burley Cafe.
Well, just like I said, it's a selfish business. Everything that we love, craft cocktails, good bourbon, wine, coffee, espresso drinks, farm to table. We can tell you how many miles every piece of meat has traveled. It's all made to order. We've got some great chefs here,
Absolutely.
great staff working with us, and we've rehabbed this amazing old building. This has a storied history. It was a long time gentlemen's club. Women weren't allowed in.
Did you wash everything before you opened the doors?
Deeply, yes.
Stupid. Sanitized.
So it's got a great history. I found an old Grandad bottle in the basement from
What?
God knows how long ago.
Empty,
Yeah,
I assume.
totally empty.
Ah, dang it.
Yeah.
There was some cool stuff, some old Little Kings bottles, but the old Grandad, because I love the old Grandad line.
Yeah.
I'm saving that one.
Well, you've got a really cool sort of old meets modern thing going on here. I really think is.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we were
It's
talking
got
about
a good,
the
there's a good vibe here.
even down to the floors
Yeah.
earlier too. But I love that you were able to keep a majority of the flooring
Yes.
from this old building.
Well,
How long has this building been around? Do you know?
1850s. It's the whole front is made of iron. We have more iron front buildings in Cynthiana, Federalist style, than any other city in America.
wow, that's neat.
It's very cool. We removed 4 inches of plaster from the walls. When we took the ceiling down, we got 2 full truckloads of seed, corn and oats, where it used to be a feed store. Just came down.
Oh my gosh.
Some amazing stuff. So we've done the floors. We've used old wood where we could. We built a second bar out of old floor wood. And we've got the only concrete bar in town. This is awesome, by the way.
I really do like this.
There's like a maple syrup thing in there.
I am a big fan of this this Elijah Craig pick. I bought it like last week, and you can tell that I've already put a little bit of a dent in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always kind of forget about.
You got to let that bottle breathe a little bit. I mean,
Give it time to open.
Honestly, I never buy it. I've not bought it since last year when I went to Japan, so I need to.
I'll buy picks more than I will buy the standard offering. Same thing with Knob Creek single barrel. I haven't bought a regular Knob Creek single barrel. You know what? Maybe ever.
I have to admit, I let a little sip pass by while y'all weren't looking, and that has got a really nice,
Oh, we were supposed to wait?
oaky,
No,
wonderful.
you drink whenever.
It's really
I mean,
nice.
we don't clink glasses every time, do we?
No.
Or do we?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
The oak is balanced.
That's
though.
what I'm talking about.
I think so too. Yeah.
I'm getting a thumbs up on this dish. Those are awesome. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Some customers here enjoying some of this amazing cooking.
What was that? The tacos? Yeah. Oh, I had the tacos before we started, and man, they are so good.
Hey, listen, those cows are raised 26 miles from here. Even the additive to their food is Kentucky sourced. I mean, it's straight Kentucky proud.
That is fantastic, man. I want to see more of this happening around Kentucky.
Yes, please.
I want
Amen.
this in more places
Amen.
around here. And I'm thankful that you have done this here. I mean, this is so exciting, not just for, Cynthiana proper, but Kentucky as a whole, too, seeing that there is the drive and the excitement to make something like this happen. So how do you kind of see yourself fitting into maybe the bigger picture of this new little culture that's kind of being developed?
We were going to partner
Around
with
here.
the local businesses. We have a brand new Cajun restaurant next door, as odd as that sounds. We're doing some block parties. We're going to do some partnering with the Maiden City Brewery down the street. We want to hold each other up.
I like Maiden City a lot.
Yes,
They're really great
guys.
people. Yeah. I actually played there.
I have
wow.
too, several times.
Oh, have you
It's a great stage, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just play whatever you want to.
You're in the window.
It's great. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah,
There's like a cinnamon cream in the back of it.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what that is. It reminds me kind of, and I tend to say this a lot about Elijah Craig and in particular Heaven Hill products, but it has this kind of vanilla ice cream flavor to it that I really like. It's the loudest truck in the world passing by.
More
This is
authenticity.
Very, very authentic.
Look, man, it's going to happen. You're going to hear some people in the background.
Oh,
You're
there's gonna be some coal rolled through
Yeah,
here.
we haven't rolled any coal.
We will. And one thing, we need to keep an eye on the time because we don't want to miss Derby.
Yep, it goes
a valid
off
point.
Goes off at 6:30 actually.
Is that late this year?
Oh, we got plenty of time.
We're golden.
We got plenty of time.
650 or
Yeah, we are witnessing the only day a year that there will be a TV in the Burley Market.
That's
in
exactly
Cafe.
right.
Good.
It's held up by two
and I
by
like
fours.
that. I like that. You know what? It'd be one of those things too. I know it's not practical, but you should just disallow phones too,
Yeah.
so people actually have to talk to each
We
other.
want to encourage that, but I don't know.
You can't actually do it. It's not.
Give me your phone.
Yeah,
Check your phone at the door, please.
Are those computer speakers being used with that?
Yeah, I
we
believe
threw
it's-
the
I think
TV
it's
up and we
streaming.
did not know if it would have a sound or not, and it didn't. So we got computer speakers.
I believe Noel's pulling out a bonus pour for us
Yeah.
here.
Oh,
Noel's
well, I
brought out the
gotta
old
finish
Pogue.
my Perry pour here.
That's right, yeah.
I'm
Bottoms
still
up.
working on that.
Tell us about this old Pogue here. No.
Last May, I drove to the distillery in Maysville, met the distiller, and I'm remiss to remember his name here. Amazing young man. This is probably my desert island pour.
Really?
I believe it is.
Wow.
At the end of
Well.
the day. But this is an auspicious occasion, so we're going to share the
Oh, we're
last
gonna-
of my bottle.
We're gonna finish it.
Yes, we are. I don't know his mash bill off top. I think it's
I
pretty
don't
high
either.
rye.
Yeah. I have been up there too, and it is a beautiful place. To drive up to the distillery, it's this really small little winding road too, and you're stressed out thinking you're going to fall off at some point, but
Right there on the river, old houses.
Definitely not going to
and,
Perry pour this one.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, there's not much.
we're all just gonna get a nice, just enough to.
Hey, listen, he does a
Deftly.
fantastic rye too. The Five
Deftly.
Fathers.
I've not had the rye yet.
He malts it
Yeah.
first like a scotch, and
Yeah.
it's fantastic. So I can't say enough good about what he's doing up there.
Just turn that bottle upside down.
Just
Perry.
dump it, man.
Feel
Dump
free,
it.
my friend.
Oh, perfect.
That's all that was. That's all I could do in that
Yeah,
instance.
that's
Cheers, cheers, man.
Cheers. There's another
These
cheers.
are actually Josh and I some of our favorite moments because we have, like I say, some great neighbors, and we all try to find some neat bourbons. And I love finishing a bottle with with good friends.
Oh,
what
Perry
it's
can
all
attest to how excited and giddy I was when leading up to this. I just
Yeah.
really,
I think what was the last?
because like I say too, I was afraid we had possibly been. We were maybe on probation.
You thought you were ostracized from the This My
possibly.
Bourbon podcast
Yeah.
community?
Apparently, there's a statute of limitations, and we survived it.
Oh, my goodness.
But Perry, you brought over something special to the Rusty Pistol Saloon at my house that was a near empty bottle.
It's really sweet nose.
I brought over the William LaRue Weller from 2017.
Oh,
Nice.
nice. That was nice.
And we'd spent an entire day out at Keeneland drinking bourbon, having a good time and everything. And I was like, it's been a great day. Let's finish it off by finishing off a really great bottle.
Yeah, let me tell you, if y'all are doing something with Perry and he says, let me run by the house, let him do it. and get back
I'm
with
just
him.
gonna bring a couple bottles over. He shows up with this bag,
Shopping bag.
shopping bag
But
full.
you know, people that put the bourbon on the shelf and let it get dusty and they don't share it, that's like having this beautiful guitar that you do not play.
That is so funny you should say that. We were just
we
discussing
had a
earlier.
similar analogy earlier.
That's what it's
like.
for.
It's like getting a 68 Shelby or some GT or something, just parking it in the garage.
You
or-
drive that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why do you have it? Just to
We went to
enjoy it.
visit.
Just look at it.
Went to visit my uncle yesterday, and Josh got to check out his guitars and all that. He's a guitar enthusiast, but they also have a bourbon collection of unopened bourbons that you would not believe.
You know I love your uncle.
Yeah, and this is many of those commemorative Maker's Marks,
Yeah.
and there they were, just lined up there. Some other fine selections that will.
Are you in the wheel?
As long as they're alive, those will not be opened. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope. Might
I
be.
mean, commemorative bottles are cool, but you know what? They're still commemorative bottles, even if they're empty.
Yeah, I think.
Cheers. That's right.
But here's the thing about those specifically. If you're to open those and drink them, it's just standard makers.
Right.
Yes.
Like, I would be just as happy. Well, I mean, I say that thinking that, I would be buying one of the commemorative bottles. I'm not. But, like, if they just sold me the empty bottle, I'd probably buy that.
Yeah.
It's just
a cool bottle.
It's just standard
Yeah.
makers.
But Perry, I don't know if I'm sure y'all know, has a neat bourbon-themed T-shirt and sundry item business, and I believe that was one of your T-shirt offerings. Is
Save the bottle, not the bourbon.
Yeah, collect that bottle, not the bourbon. All
That's
right,
good. I
sipping
like
it.
that. I tell you, I get a lot of. This is I think it's a really sweet nose. It's like
The nose is sweet.
yeah, almost a caramelly sort of.
A little ethanol, burnt sugar.
Yeah.
I already finished mine.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry.
Well, just like this,
I didn't realize we were going to cheers.
Here for once, I'm actually over here trying to do the thing
I
that
know.
you guys do.
I just liked it so
All right,
much. I was like,
we'll
I
let
want to
Josh
drink
do
it
all the
again.
analysis, the
Yes.
nose analysis on
There's
this
like
one.
a sweet tea thing in there.
There is.
Yeah.
There absolutely is.
Now this is one of those where I feel like the taste doesn't match the nose. It's not.
I totally agree.
It's not sweet.
How do you feel about that? Would you rather that the nose and the palate kind of line up, or would you like something different to happen?
I kind of like to. I like a pleasant surprise.
Yeah,
I guess.
I like that difference. It adds a
I like-
complexity.
Yes. Yeah.
No, the nose doesn't match, but it's not a bad nose.
No,
But
not at all.
I do believe it's misleading.
Well, I think I know where you were going to go with that.
You do. You read my mind.
All right.
Okay, Perry's
Let's
holding up his
move
hand. Yep. So anyway, about who you guys got in the Derby?
I don't know. Honestly.
Omaha Beach solely on the name, but they got scratched.
He's going. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Improbable. He's going off at 9-2 or something. But I got to give a shout out to my buddy Bill Bratcher, who's got some WinStar Farm connections.
nice.
His wife works there, and I think that's one of their horses. So I guess I'm gonna go with that guy. Oh, I like what you've just pulled out of the bag
right.
there.
Yeah, I figured if we were doing special stuff, I figured we'd do something else pretty pretty special. So this is Kentucky Owl Confiscated. This is the newest release from
Unopened bottle.
Dixon Deadman and his whole team. You all know how much we love Dixon and we love
We have some
Kentucky.
Deadmans here in Cynthiana.
Really?
Very good, very talented artists. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that
There it is.
was.
Yes,
got
Did y'all hear
Got
that?
it. It was there.
Well done.
So they have a new cork, too, and it
Oh,
actually
geez.
says Kentucky Owl
There's something written on the cork.
on it.
That is nice.
But
That's
the-
going the extra mile.
Yeah,
The
it is.
topper is really nice, too.
That is
Looks
cool.
like a copper
Yeah.
topper.
Yeah.
Copper top, indeed.
We're gonna do our nose analysis from the bottle, which is really kind of neat, freshly
There's like
opened.
a floral thing in there. Yeah, that's special.
Gardenia.
Experiencing
word?
oxygen for the first time.
Oh, we
Okay,
are
so-
actually totally all doing this.
Or just pass it around.
Passing it around.
So Perry, I got to ask you. I asked you. I was going to ask you earlier, but I figured we should wait till we're talking about it
Yeah.
on the air here. So it's got confiscated in 1916 on the label here.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So back before,
Oh yeah. Sorry, I just smelled it. I did. Yeah.
so it actually says on the back of the bottle.
Okay.
So I'm just going to read straight from.
It sounds so much better coming from your very
Yeah,
broadcastery
radio man
voice.
voice.
Sonorous.
back to you, Josh. So this is actually in Dixon's own words. So it says, in 1916, just before Prohibition, my family's entire whiskey inventory was seized by the federal government, never to be seen again.
Bastards.
Confiscated Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey is a tribute to the vanished barrels of bourbon and to opportunities lost.
Okay.
happened to
Hey,
all
do
that
it again,
bourbon?
but like in like a Sam Elliott sort of.
Right, right.
All right,
In 1916, just before
Deeper.
Prohibition.
deeper.
I can't. So this is not my first time trying this. I actually got to try this with Dixon.
Oh, really? That's an
Yeah,
honor.
at the Beaumont Inn for Whiskey Weekend. Batch
Super
one.
cool place, by the way. Another Mercer
it.
County
Great.
shout out. If you ever
Absolutely love it.
passing through that area, check it out.
So I've kind of been on the hunt for this
Ooh, another Perry
for
Port.
a couple of weeks. Nah, you're good.
Sure. Okay.
This merits a.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, let's clink on
Absolutely.
Amazing.
this one. No.
Cheers, gentlemen. And again,
I tell you,
Perry
I can't place
bypasses
it,
the
but
nose
it's-
analysis and goes right for the.
Yeah, right. It noses like an EHT.
We just cheersed.
Yeah. yeah.
I thought that we were going for the drink. You're throwing me under the
out of
bus here,
sequence
Brett.
Hey, it's his.
Yeah, it's his show.
It's
Come
his
on.
show.
The nose, really, though. I mean, we were talking about that floral note. There is a very specific gardenia
You're right.
note.
To me,
it.
that's what a bourbon should smell like.
Yeah.
You think?
I think that it
I
has
like
all
what
of those.
this smells like. See, I'm not good at this like very specific sort of thing. All I can tell you is when I smell this, I go, yeah, that's what a bourbon should smell like.
So here's my thing about this. It has all of the classic bourbon flavors that I'm picking up on in the nose. There's a really great caramel note in there, kind of a burnt caramel almost. The vanilla is super present. There's kind of a marshmallow note to it as well.
I would say marshmallow cream to be specific.
Yeah, I think so too.
What's
Totally.
the proof on this?
yeah, I
Perry?
was just going to ask that too. Is it 94 or something?
96.4.
96.4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could smell it was high.
It's a blend of 6-year, 9-year, and 12-year-old bourbons.
Nice.
I love this bourbon. I really do.
I'll tell you what, it's different with each drink.
Say that again.
It's
Noel.
different with every drink.
I think so too.
It develops.
Yeah, I just took a sip of it, and I have to agree with you. It's phenomenal.
And you were saying earlier that this is one of those things where you never thought you were ever going to be able to.
I know. This like I get to. This is a great thing about when Perry comes over.
Oh, yeah.
He brings over all these unicorn bourbons that I
I
never.
love unicorns. I'm going to totally geek out on you here.
we're
we
ready.
all know the sweet gum tree, right?
Sure. Yeah.
5-point star-shaped leaves.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
One of
yeah.
the oldest trees
Yeah.
we know. If you tear a sweet gum leaf, a perfume comes out. Mm-hmm. It's like smells a bit like incense. There's a very specific note.
You know, I've had a couple of batches of the bourbon from Kentucky Owl. I've had both batches of rye. This might be my favorite product that they've come out with. Honestly, I think that Dixon really did hit the nail on the head with this one.
That's high praise.
So
So again, just for those keeping track at home, this is the Kentucky Owl.
if you're just tuning in,
Confiscated.
If you're just tuning in, you missed the word of the day.
Yeah, Kentucky Owl confiscated.
Look for that. It's a banner right across the top there.
All I can say is thank you, Dixon.
Yes.
No, that's a fantastic pour.
Splendid. Thank you, sir.
Very, very good. Absolutely.
Grab a sweet gum leaf.
It's got just enough bite too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you know you're drinking a serious bourbon.
It's not an overpowering one, but it's there.
I think that if it were any higher proof, it would have been a little bit overpowering.
Too hot.
Yep, I could see that.
Yeah, because
it's
you're,
like
you're getting that hint of ethanol in the nose, but all those other,
they sort
essences.
they sort of reined it in like
Yep.
right where it needed to be.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Do we know how old it is? Or how,
6, 9, and 12
6,
year
9, and 12, you said
blend.
that.
Yeah.
So the youngest is 6.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I like it so much.
No,
I just
choice.
can't.
God, you really are all starry-eyed.
I know I am.
You're almost like
Now, have you?
Look, man, have you seen Dixon?
you're beating up.
He's a handsome man.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never
Right?
met the man. No.
I've met Dixon on multiple occasions.
Seen him online.
You know, the only thing, sometimes with these bourbon tastings, the ones towards the end kind of are at a disadvantage because
You've kind of destroyed your palate at that point. Yeah.
Well,
we've destroyed palate and
we've got
various
some water.
other things.
We're taking our time.
Look, if you drink water in between, I think that you're going to be all right.
As long as you don't start with like barrel strength and try to move
Yeah,
on
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't go that direction. But
to Basil Hayden at the end.
We'll be ending with Kentucky
water.
Tavern.
Yeah. Well, how about some 2006 Wild Turkey 101?
I believe that it's 2006 that year you like.
You know what?
So much.
I just don't. No, let's not.
All right.
No, I'm kidding. Let's absolutely.
Hey, when I was in Japan last year, I had some 13-year-old 101.
Oh, I love the
The
13.
13 is dazzling.
Oh, that was it.
Well, it's not a brand new
sounded
bottle,
good.
but
It still sounded good.
It creaked like
but
an old
we
door.
want the listeners at home to have the full appreciation.
We're gonna.
Oh, you guys can pour as I'm passing it around.
Yeah,
You
I don't know
realize
why we
that,
keep
right?
doing
We don't
that.
have to
Why do
just
we keep
nose
doing
from
I
the.
will tell you, we
we
did a
keep
little
smelling the bottle.
nose bottle there, but it does have a really, really pleasant. I don't know how to describe it.
Well, let me ask you a question.
So
Fruity,
right here
flowery
it says.
nose.
What was the first bourbon
High
you
rye
remember
aged.
drinking? Mine was bad.
The first bourbon I remember drinking.
Yes.
Makers.
Makers, okay.
Because that was what
that
my,
was a Perry pour.
Oh,
All right.
Because
maybe
that was
not by accident.
that was my dad's house bourbon.
Okay.
So, he always had Makers Splash of Water on the
Yep.
rocks. And so the first time that I ever thought, well, I'm going to have a bourbon, or I'm going to have bourbon, I was like, well, if my dad likes it, I'm probably going to like it too. And it was Makers. I got to be honest with you, I didn't like it right off the bat. And I
Same as
haven't
black
really,
coffee, you know?
yeah, and I haven't really grown to like it either. I think that Makers is fine, but I think that the 46 is really good, and the cast strength is amazing.
Love the cast strength.
Yeah.
I don't like the
Cast
46.
strength is.
You don't like the
I,
46?
I don't.
I like the 46.
I think it's too sweet. But Makers
I mean,
does
Makers
something.
in general is pretty sweet.
Makers does a trick that no other bourbon does quite as well, and that's when you take that first sip, you can smell the rick house in that first drink.
I agree.
And it's very
I
special.
totally agree.
Makers nails that.
Well, I always say if you're going to have to host an event and you can have one bourbon, you're probably going to buy Makers.
Or Woodford.
Yeah, because that's just one that's iconic,
Yeah.
super-
visually
it's
iconic,
It is.
and
Marketing geniuses.
marketing
Absolutely.
geniuses.
Well, I'm making my juleps here today at the Burley Market with Makers.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
a big
and-
bottle of
and-
Makers up there.
That having been said, you're using mint from 100 feet away. You
100
said?
feet away.
That's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Like just as
I
locally
picked it this
sourced as it
afternoon,
gets.
yes.
Yeah. And I really do. I salute you for the
Yeah,
local
because I was
sourcing.
in my neighbor's yard at 3 a.m. this morning with a headlamp cutting mint.
That's probably not even legal.
And it was hilarious to watch him explain this to the police.
I'm glad you got out of jail on time.
But juleps, sir.
Who posted bail for you?
A real julep.
yeah.
A good Kentucky officer would understand.
No, he
Oh,
got
yeah.
he got out of it, but it
Yeah.
it required unspeakable things.
Yes. At 3 a.m. in the morning.
So, Noel, let's
Locally sourced. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Back
No,
to
I
the
really.
podcast.
I mean, I think that's we're in sort of this. It's people really like knowing where their products are coming from. Now.
Yeah.
You
and,
want to know.
yeah,
And you don't want to have a chemical engineering degree to have to understand it.
correct.
Yes.
I mean, at least
Mint.
I don't. I think,
Sugar cube. You know?
And to that point, too, unfortunately, there have been some people who have been complaining about the fact that Kentucky Owl confiscated, and really just Kentucky Owl in general, people, that Dixon is not revealing where he sourced his whiskey from.
That's his prerogative.
It doesn't bother me.
Got to add a little, a little mystique to it.
Yeah, it really is not something that I think about, but I can understand why people get upset or worried about that.
Why? I mean, good is good.
Both points are right.
Yeah. See, that's the thing is that I agree with you 100% on that. If it's a good product and you're willing to pay the money for it, that's fine. But in the age of transparency and people wanting to know where everything's coming from,
Fair point. Yeah.
Right.
I can understand why people would like to know where he sourced his whiskeys from.
Well,
Sure.
and that's magnified with bourbon now because it's
Absolutely.
become such an industry, and Kentucky just can only produce so much, and the demand exceeds that, and we all do like to know our bourbon is coming from Kentucky.
There's so many things like there's the hallmark dill flavor of an MGP rye.
Yeah.
You know?
Or George Dickel.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Unmistakable. Let me ask you a question now. Whenever I drink bourbon or whiskey that's not from Kentucky, I feel like I'm cheating on Kentucky, and I actively avoid it.
And that's kind of what we were getting at there earlier.
It's interesting you bring that up because I was just about to say, speaking for myself, and I think maybe some others here too, we Kentuckians, rightfully so in my opinion, tend to be a little snobby
Yeah.
We're
about.
proud about it. Listen, I've had garbage from other states.
Yeah.
New York bourbon, I've had garbage. Colorado bourbon, garbage. I'm not saying it's
That
all
having
bad,
been
but
said,
I've had bad examples.
To that point, though, Widow Jane I think is pretty tasty.
Widow
juice.
Jane is good.
But not to derail there.
The
But
aforementioned
Hudson-
chicken cock,
I
South
digress.
Carolina.
But
Exactly.
Hudson's pretty bad, though.
Yeah,
So-
when water is your most important component sometimes in a good bourbon, and
Yeah.
you name it after the filthiest river in the world.
Absolutely.
Not a smart thing.
And so many rivers have a lot of iron content. Kentucky, we got this amazing limestone
Oh,
water.
yes.
Yeah. So
so-
to that point, though, I have had so many good MGP bourbons.
Yep.
What's
that-
an MGP brew?
MGP is the distillery in Indiana.
Okay.
Right.
So products like Bell Mead, that's MGP bourbon. That's sourced from Indiana.
so let
And
me
like I
ask
say,
you
and
you
this
can
is
throw
probably
a
not.
rock across the river from Kentucky and hit that distillery. so-
just about.
This is probably not fair because I'm sure that but the Kentucky bourbon snob in me just
I'm
it
with you.
has
And
to
I
it needs to say
there's-
it needs to say Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey on the label. for me.
Here's
It
my
just-
thing. I understand that, but knowing how good Bell Mead is, that erases it for me.
Okay.
And I think
I mean-
that goes back to good is good.
Yeah.
You know,
Right,
I mean,
we went
it,
kind of full circle there. Yeah.
Wait till
Yeah.
you try the chicken cock. Now listen, its birthplace is Paris, Kentucky. It's an old, iconic brand, but it's being made in South Carolina right
There's a bottle that's
Yeah.
there was or is still
was,
sitting
like a high
in your
rye.
bar, Brett.
Yeah, it's a high rye. Yeah.
now. Yes. We did a special release when we were out carousing one afternoon.
Oh, that's right.
Down to Justin's. It was good.
Yep. That's
The
right.
100-year anniversary bottle with the pretty
Yep.
crystal decanter.
yeah. Have you guys tried this yet?
No,
No,
'Cause I haven't.
we've gotten carried
We've
away.
We've just
by-
been talking and
Going
with,
on
with
the- on the,
dialogue here.
nose
Yeah.
aura.
Have a
It's
drink.
got a strong, punchy nose to be so old.
It really does. Yeah.
I can't place what is hovering in the middle of the nose.
Besides ethanol,
Well, that's what I mean. It's in the middle between
It's leather.
there's a lot of corn
leather.
on the
I
nose.
like. Okay, that's
leather.
Because
Leather
it
and
wasn't
corn.
a floral or fruity like we've been getting.
Well, and there is a little bit of like sweet fruitiness to it that I'm finding, but there's leather and there's a little bit of tobacco as well that I'm finding on the
like
nose.
Clay Risen, or is it Risen? I think he coined the phrase
don't know.
tobacco milkshake in one of his books, and then you drink the bourbon, you go, oh yeah, it's tobacco
And
milkshake.
it comes out in the drink more than
When
you
you
nose.
taste it, it's hot.
Yeah, but it's got that leathery
101.
tobacco.
I would really like to try this with a cigar.
I've got some beautiful cigars at the house, but listen, I was going to take him
Don't
to
tempt me with a good time, no.
I was going to take him to
Don't tempt me with a
Churchill.
good
I
time.
forgot. We'll bring him here today, and I forgot.
Oh no.
Oh, well, your house is just up the road. We'll
This
stumble
is
up
true.
there
We're
after
a couple
we
blocks away.
get this in the can.
Stumble.
Stump. Correct.
Leather like the smell of new car seats or a leather jacket.
Rich Corinthian leather.
I was thinking,
If you've been in a tobacco barn right before it's about to come down,
Oh yeah.
you get some of that.
This is really neat because this is nothing we've talked about on any of the other bourbons we've had today.
yeah, because everything's been kind of sweet and had these notes of the kind of bright notes, but this has been the only one where it's been significantly like dark.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
dark,
this will-
rich, earthy,
Yeah.
This is like
legit.
sitting in a study with your grandfather.
Oh,
you know?
yes. The fire going.
Exactly.
Many leather-bound books.
Surrounded by books.
Erudite gentlemen with cigars and bourbon.
Rich mahogany.
This reminds me so much of why. We're just going to keep making Anchorman references the entire time.
Absolutely.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Who put a question mark in the teleprompter?
Y'all didn't know we had a teleprompter. We're all reading off of a teleprompter. There's
It's
four
My
of them.
Bourbon Podcast teleprompter.
It's my bourbon podcast.
Or is it My Bourbon Podcast?
Why can't you do that on Jeopardy? Just inflect on Jeopardy instead of saying, what is,
Jeopardy?
where is?
What is Kentucky?
One of my first bourbon experiences was Kessler, smooth as silk, terrible. My second bourbon experience was Wild Turkey 80, also not the best. But listen, after years of loving single malt Scotch and single barrel Irish whiskeys,
Okay.
I was.
I will insert here that Noel has a very rich history.
We are the oldest name in Scottish records.
He's often seen in a kilt
I
of his
do wear
family
the kilts.
tartan.
We have a family tartan, but a
Your last
lady
name
offered
is?
me a bourbon,
Right.
Turkey 101. This is
Riedel.
the bourbon that brought me back.
Hey, I got to say it like Riedel.
Radale. You got to drink your bourbon.
Hey,
When you're in Scotland, bourbon is Jack Daniels, and it's so sad.
It's not bourbon.
well, it's
It's
like
whiskey.
that's a lot of other states. What do you got? What do you got? What's your bourbons? We got Jack
Makers,
Daniels.
Jack
Jack
Daniels.
Daniels.
Yeah, we got Makers,
Seagrams?
Jack Daniels. You got one right.
All right.
Early times.
1 out of 2.
Don't knock
50%
the early
is still
times.
failing. Early times is whiskey. Unless it's the bottle and
the
bond.
bottle and
which is
bond.
bourbon, but-
Which, hey, listen, ordering whiskey for the Burley market. I said we need early times bottle and bond. The distributor said, why? I swear to God,
But the bottle and bond is so good,
it's
though.
epic, and I
Yeah.
always have it on my shelf.
And
Love
here's
it.
I think we talked about this last time. There's a lot of them that kind of get overlooked
Yeah.
and almost
Yeah.
scoffed at. That like we really enjoy Barton,
Yeah.
the Barton bottle.
Oh my
Brett's in
goodness.
the middle of posing. That's
I'm posing without looking like I'm
and
posing.
I gotta say, dude, your bow tie is still upside down.
It really
I
is.
know it. My mint
Is it mint julep bow tie?
Brett,
is
all right,
upside down.
since we're on, you can't see us.
I'm wearing
but
shorts and a bow tie.
Brett is wearing seersucker.
Derby day.
It's Derby Day, so
He just got
Brett
back
is in
from,
his.
from Catholic school.
Oh my gosh. Covington Catholic. I'm gonna hassle you so bad.
Brett is in his obligatory seersucker shorts.
Those are
and-
seersucker shorts.
Yes, they are. Yes, they
loafers,
are.
penny, whatever
I
kind
just-
of.
The Sperry's.
look,
Yeah.
it works, but I'm confused.
He's got a bow tie,
I almost wore the seersucker blazer jacket to go with it.
the pink one.
And
No,
shorts.
to match the shorts.
Oh, well, I didn't know. I mean, people wear crazy things.
I
on
do
Derby
have a
Day.
pink
It is Derby
seersucker
Day.
suit that I.
Hey, listen, we had girls show up this morning dressed for Derby strictly for our opening. It was
Oh,
awesome.
very
That is
nice.
awesome.
Very
I got-
nice.
and
got
that's,
photos.
and that's the beauty of today. I mean, the whole world celebrates our state.
It's
And it rains every year.
And who hasn't waited,
People are
uh,
going to think we're Scotland.
who hasn't waited a year for like something that lasted less than a minute?
Right.
You know, so,
Just to give you all an update.
or 16 years.
A little live action update of the Bourbon Podcast. We are now.
If you're just
having
tuning in.
the national anthem is being sang at Churchill Downs.
Oh,
now
Lord.
a word from our sponsors.
Take a
Very
moment here.
beautifully as well.
There we go. God bless America.
God bless America.
Absolutely. Best country in the world.
Always has
Absolutely.
been, always will be.
If you look at my bar back there, I've got Russell's Reserve, which is one of my favorites. We've got some makers. We've got Evan Williams. I've got Mellow
Corn?
Corn.
I know
I
this.
honestly thought
Let's
Mellow
talk about
Corn
Mellow
was
Corn
going to
for a
make
second
an
here.
appearance in the podcast.
We can do that.
we really should. I mean, just
I just want to know how Mellow Corn holds up to some of the greatest bourbons currently on the market today.
I will summon a bottle of Mellow Corn. I've got a
for fun.
case in the
Summon.
basement.
summons.
Well, Noel and I are kindred spirits in the beautiful crystal decanters, and oft-times Noel will present you with a beautiful decanter of whiskey, and it will be Mellow Corn
Oh.
served in a $100 decanter.
And on that note, the decanters.
Yeah.
Men, decant your bourbons. If you've got a bar at your home, it's a good look.
Yep.
It's a good decant your bourbons. Decant some,
If you have a bar at your house, that means you want to bring people in to drink and share that experience.
I'm okay with maybe a couple of decanters.
Yeah, don't go overboard.
Yeah, don't decant 100 bottles of bourbon.
No.
But we have like 4, like
Right.
Pick some good ones that you really,
I usually keep the empty bottles behind the bar.
Here's our mellow corn delivery.
Mellow corn has been delivered.
Oh, look at that.
I'm telling you
I
what,
mean, they just, they
literally
said,
just
you know
snaps his
what?
fingers.
We're not trying to go for fancy bottling here. We're not.
They've not changed this label
But it
since
is bottled in
1943.
Bottled
is
in bond.
the
Bottled and
nation's
bond corn whiskey.
the world's only bottled and bond corn whiskey. Heaven Hill's doing some amazing work over there. I found this in a bourbon book. I was really delving into the craft, and I saw this. I have to have it.
I mean, why
And
not?
here it is.
Why not?
It's what, like $12 a bottle?
At the most.
At most, yeah, maybe 10.
Absolutely.
I've had it as little as 9.
So no, let's talk too about how bourbon plays into the Burley Cafe and market. How is it placing some kind of influence on what you're doing here? What do you want to do with bourbon to incorporate Kentucky's spirit into your business?
So many products we have are Kentucky proud, and there's nothing more Kentucky proud than bourbon. I got that right on your Zoom. And so what I'm going to do is showcase everything from the top shelf to these amazing finds on the bottom shelf. There are unicorns that exist on the bottom shelf as well.
Here.
I mean, JTS Brown, JW Dant. These
Totally
are
agree.
Amazing bourbons.
TW Samuels.
I will,
Have you had TW Samuels?
I have, yeah.
I love that bourbon. That's my new everyday
Smells
drinker.
like bread.
it smells
it?
like hominy. Have y'all ever had
That's
hominy?
exactly what
Just
that is.
smells
Corn.
like smells like bread.
This is it does. It smells
Cornbread.
like cornbread.
Sweet cornbread.
Yeah.
We are now sipping
Imagine
the
if you
mellow
made
corn.
bread from corn.
We have taken a pause here to.
A lot of people pair this, I swear to God, with a Twinkie. Cheers. Glad you're here.
One of the beautiful Maiden City people have just stopped by.
Just call him
Cheered
beautiful?
us. Yeah.
I mean, he's
Now-
a handsome guy, but
Yeah, I mean, Maiden City Brewery here in Cynthiana has been a wonderful
He kind of
addition.
looks like he took him off a set from Game of Thrones.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
I
A
can
little
see
bit.
that.
Put him in a T-shirt.
hey, you're working on that yourself, man.
Hey, he's a great
Yeah,
musician,
I'm
too.
aware.
As well.
I don't know.
Is he?
Totally.
Cool.
Sings just like Jim Morrison. It's unbelievable.
I've never watched Game of Thrones. I know I'm one of those.
I haven't. I've watched like one episode and it just didn't take.
But
for
you
me.
look like the main character.
Yeah,
Jon Snow?
Jon
Yeah.
Snow.
You
Got a
think?
little-
I
Jon
totally get a
Snow.
Jeff Tweedy Wilco vibe from
I can see
Harry.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I don't know, dude. You look like.
I've been on a Wilco binge lately. So maybe
Have
it's-
you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So-
Fair enough. You've never heard Wilco?
No.
Really?
Dude.
Josh, you got to hear Wilco.
all three of these gentlemen are fabulous singers and musicians.
Is this a band? Is this
Yes,
a show?
it's a band.
It's the most amazing American band
Okay.
right now. They're playing solely American music. I can't call it rock. I can't call it pop. I can't call it country. They're fab. Jeff
Americana is the
I think
generic
Americana
term.
is a good
Sort
way
the
of putting
generic
it.
Tweedy,
term,
but
I
they've
guess,
got
these days.
Jeff Tweedy is their front man. They've got Nels Klein playing lead guitar, who is mind blowing. But everyone
He's
in that
so
band
good.
is virtuoso. So
Oh, okay. I'm going to look that up now.
So I want to do a blend of mellow corn and Weller, like Weller 107 or something like that, and call it like Weller corn
I'm all about it.
or mellow Weller.
I have
Mellow
a,
Weller.
Hey, I have a drink on the menu, the double mellow yellow and mellow corn with some lemon. I swear to
my
God,
God.
it's epic. It's fantastic.
I trust you.
You might
Yeah.
be a redneck if.
Well,
I mean-
all across America, they're doing this Mountain Dew and Turkey 101 is a thing now.
I've seen that. Yeah, I don't
It-
understand that.
I can't bring myself to do it, so it's,
No.
I don't
I'm
want
trying to.
Why would I ruin perfectly good Turkey 101?
Thank you.
No,
with
what
some Mountain Dew.
But you can.
If you really want to go Kentucky, kind of old school Kentucky, but maybe, mix it with ski.
Oh, yeah.
Ski's awesome.
Ski's amazing.
still got the fruit in it.
yeah.
Still got chunks of stuff floating in it. Yeah.
A lot of people pair this, I swear to God, with Twinkies. Because
Okay.
this super
I
amazing
could totally see that.
thing pops out, this vanilla.
I mean, this is like just taking a bite out of an ear of corn.
I think so. Yeah. You know what?
I love the mellow.
I really don't mind it at all.
No.
I think it's pretty good. Would it replace like my everyday sipper of bourbon? No.
No, I mean you've sort of got like the snobby like crowd over here in your bag, and Mellocorn's kind of sitting here like, hey guys,
You call me snobby?
I mean,
Let you know.
in a bourbon context,
I will tell
yes.
y'all,
and that's a good
Perry's-
thing.
That's
Perry's deck on his house, he's like the last house in Lexington. It looks out over the most beautiful Kentucky pastoral horse farms, and he oft posts his, photographs of him with his feet up on the rail and one of these beautiful rare bourbons, and it just you just want to be there with him, and you're not.
It's the best.
It is.
Come see me. I don't want to.
Yes.
I don't want that to be.
I'll bring a bottle and a guitar. Let's do it.
Oh
There
my
you go.
God! Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll make
And we
that
need to
happen.
get these three guys together with
Yeah,
guitars.
we need
y'all.
to get together and pick sometime.
We are
like real
three
soon.
polar opposites, but we can make it work.
That's what
I
makes it happen.
figure. I feel like we're very musically diverse as far
Yes.
as
I think so
all
too.
of y'all really are.
Yeah. But
Y'all
getting
are
together,
great.
I think we could do something pretty great.
So
absolutely.
mellow corn. Listen, I'll say this: if you were in Antarctica and you not had to drink it 3 weeks, and someone gives you this, you're gonna go, "That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
incredible."
I think I totally
Yeah.
agree with
But
that.
here's the thing, it's not fair to it because of what we've been drinking, building up to, leading
here's
up
the,
to
here's
it.
the thing, though. I think that it has actually, it's not like it's being knocked down by anything else. I think that I can drink that and go, I know where its place is
Yes.
in what we've just had.
Sure.
But I understand that notion of, yeah, it's just not as good as everything else.
It's
that
just
we
not.
had.
It's just,
No. This is driving.
but it's a different animal. It's a completely different animal.
This is a starter home, an entry level car. When you step up to the
double wide
Kentucky
trailer.
Al, you are now in a Lamborghini.
That's true.
So,
Or a Tesla.
or a Tesla.
A double
If you know,
wide
you
trailer.
know.
Yeah.
Well, boys, since
So-
it is Kentucky Derby Day, I figured we'd drink something Derby related.
Nice.
This is the Four Roses Small Batch Select.
Yeah,
This is their
that's-
newest expression.
God, that's dark.
Yeah.
It's very dark.
It gets, all right. I'm not going to tell you anything else about this
Okay,
before we
yeah.
actually have a sip.
And
of it.
we're those nerds that like to, I love when bourbon bottles have a tag around the neck.
Yeah.
I love
Oh, yeah.
I love reading the literature.
just a little bit more information.
I mean,
And
just a
listen,
little-
I'm a bar owner now, so I have all these suppliers.
Oh,
And so
Talk
they
to me,
they
talk to
send me
me.
these menus of amazing stuff. And one or two of my suppliers has the
I guess I can get a taste
Four
of it.
Roses
Come on,
130,
Perry. There we
which
go.
I cannot
Whoa.
find. Have you had the 130
Yes,
yet?
I have. It's
Is it-
very good.
Is it magical?
It's very, very good.
It's on my list.
The idea behind this product was that it was supposed to have some kind of limited edition vibe to it. So when they were creating this profile, they specifically went in and said, let's make something that is more affordable, easy to find, but has a limited edition vibe to it.
What's the retail on this?
This is $60.
That's doable in my
It is.
opinion.
It's the fourth rose.
Yeah.
This
Hold
is the
that-
first.
if you don't mind, hold that bottle
Yeah,
up for me real quick.
for our listeners
It's
at home,
got
hold
great.
that bottle
I mean, great color.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really-
it's got a dark
yeah.
chocolate background to the
Well,
label.
like if you walk through Justin's or Total Wine, you look at some of these like Pierce, some of these things they don't even look like bourbon.
They look
anymore.
like
Yeah.
watery sweet tea or something.
Yeah.
I'm dying to see the new Pabst bourbon.
Oh,
Five second contact.
We are going to do a full review
Hang on,
of
is this-
that
this is a-
whiskey.
this
And
is
we're
a real
gonna do
thing?
This is a real thing. It's 5 seconds in the barrel.
They're
And they
they're
dump it.
advertising that.
You're kidding me.
I'm not
Five,
We're
kidding.
gonna
5
do
seconds
this-
contact with
That
food.
is an abomination.
in a field party.
It has an amazing
But
mash
it's
bill.
technically bourbon.
It is.
I don't like it.
You can walk past it with a piece of wood and it's bourbon.
I don't like it.
But listen, the mash bill sounds amazing.
What is the mash bill? I haven't even looked enough into
What does it matter? It doesn't give a chance.
You're exactly right. But if they would give it a chance, maybe we need to put
Yeah,
some in a barrel.
it's
Oh,
corn
yes.
whiskey. It's not
I'm,
bourbon. It's
I'm
corn
hoping they're
whiskey.
leaving some of that alone just for
They
a
have to.
special edition 10 years from now. All right. So
I mean,
we'll have
why do that? It's to me
We'll have a-
that's just a joke.
We'll
That's
have
an
a
insult.
bonfire and a field party and try that
Hipsters.
out.
It doesn't bother me.
It's all about hipsters.
Always the
doesn't
hipsters.
It doesn't upset me. I'm kind of excited for it.
It doesn't
Like,
upset you. As
it
a
doesn't upset
bourbon
me.
snob like yourself, that doesn't upset you.
No, I think that it's kind of funny, honestly.
That's the thing. It's like it's a gimmick. It's not like
It's not going to go into secondary instantly
y'all.
and
Oh,
destroy
that's
everybody.
true.
They don't
that
give it
is
that
true.
blue ribbon for nothing.
This has a lot of ethanol on the nose, by the way. What's the proof?
I won't tell you until we actually try it.
Fair enough.
It's a smooth ethanol.
Noel, are you gonna ever have live music here?
Absolutely.
Good.
This would be a good little corner to set up.
This is the corner. I'm going to start with some jazz guitar players I know in Lexington. Those
Okay.
guys that know more chords than people.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
We're bringing some of those guys out. Some
So
cool
Ben
stuff.
Lacey's going to come out.
I'm going to be playing here a little bit. I've got some new stuff happening.
Sweet.
Can't wait to debut some of that. And,
Awesome.
Your name came up.
Of course it does.
I
It
don't know
always
why.
does. He's the
It
man.
came up.
I
Well,
think
if you
we
need
should.
somebody
I
else.
think we should. I mean, kind of.
Oh, that would be great.
I think we
Yeah.
should all get
Oh,
together
y'all
and do
could
this.
be the ultimate
That'd be a lot
guitar
of fun.
trio.
It's too small of a place for a drum kit, but
Oh, yeah, no,
guitars,
but
cajon or whatever.
I'll just sit on a cajon
Yeah.
behind you guys. It'll be all right.
just sit on it. Don't play it.
Yeah.
No,
I have no
see,
rhythm, but
Exactly.
Good. That's what we want.
That's what we need.
CRD.
yeah.
No, I'd love for we should all
Alright.
just get together and
totally
pick.
We're
let's do
actually
this sometime.
all
Well, let's,
pondering drinking this. This is the silence
Sorry,
you're
I,
hearing.
I,
Let's give
I
this-
derailed the train
Let's
again.
give this one a cheers
All right,
because it
we're
is the
actually doing
Derby.
this.
Yeah.
What better to cheers with on the run for the roses than a
We're,
four?
getting
also
close. We're at
saying-
the okay. I think we're going.
The
We're about to go
Old
off
Forester
the Old
Turf
Forester
Classic.
Turf Classic. Old Forester.
Old Forester 1920 Desert Island drink. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Yep.
So we're gonna have a desert island episode, and we
do
should
it.
do it on an
Now, what
island.
about the other ones? Like
We need
the
to go to an island.
Statesman
Yeah.
and some of those that I saw.
Statesman is terrible.
Is it terrible?
It is straight up garbage.
Too young.
I'm
Okay.
not even gonna beat around the bush on this one.
Fair enough.
It is awful.
I
okay.
would step over my own mother for the 1920. I'm telling you, it's
Wow.
awesome.
That's okay.
I love it.
Mr.
Now,
Odell,
what
we-
about the?
listening.
Are they the ones that do the birthday?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How's
The
that?
birthday's
I-
epic.
Birthday is hit or miss for me.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I've not had a bad one yet. It's.
I
Are they out there?
totally disagree with you.
You know, here's the
Really?
thing though
Yeah.
about that I love about bourbon. Is that it is hit or it's that individualistic for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you get the streamline, the main, Jim Beam is kind of in my opinion, the Budweiser of bourbon. It's not bad. It's not.
It's a weird thing that Budweiser collaborated with Jim Beam. Then.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
I know, but
exactly.
The
you know what I
Copper
mean.
Lager.
You know what you're getting every time. But when
Yeah.
you start going down that rabbit hole of these, more boutique, I guess you would call them, sort of bourbons.
Well put.
I do like that you sort of. You're either gonna, it's there. You never really know what you're gonna. You might love it, you might not. It's
And sometimes it varies bottle to bottle, which
Absolutely.
is so
Yeah, that's
sad.
true. Yeah.
well,
Because
Yes,
you
and-
buy something amazing and you get it the second time and it sucks.
right.
Yeah.
Well, therein lies, the benefit of a huge distillery and many
Yes.
rick houses.
I'll make a guitar analogy here that three of us can. Three
We
of the
can do
four of us
this.
can
I
appreciate.
can do it.
Hey, they're jockeying the horses out for the Derby, by the way.
This
I'm
is
watching this.
notes for the Old
The-
Forester Classic.
The post
Yeah.
parade. I was talking to a guy one time, Martin versus Gibson, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
I was, and I said, what's the difference? Tell me what the one I'm looking at here. He said, well, Martins are a little more, or at least the one I was looking at, are a little more, assembly lined, I
Yeah.
guess you would say. Whereas
I've been
the
there, by the way. Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Beautiful place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love my Martin.
Yep.
Love him. Love it.
I love my Gibson.
Yeah, I mean you can't. I mean it's one of those things you just can't go wrong.
Yeah.
But what he told me is, Martins are a little more assembly line. You play one, you've pretty much played all of them of that model, whereas Gibsons are handmade.
Yeah.
And you're going to pick up one, and it's going to play completely different than the next one you
Absolutely.
pick up. And it's just the one that speaks to you. And I can see that, with bourbon a lot
It's
of
a good analog.
Yeah.
That said, I had a couple Gibson Super Jumbos, J100s, J200s.
Oh, beautiful, yeah.
Gotten rid of them, traded for an Epiphone, which you've got to kill me to take it because I
Which
love
is funny.
it.
It's funny because everybody is
everything I
kind of
need.
like, oh, the Epiphone. Oh, it's like the,
Their quality
it's not,
control is
though.
epic.
I see a jam session at Noel's guitar room
I wish we had
brewing
guitars.
right
How many
now.
bottles we have left?
We can stumble to your house, Noel. I've been there.
I feel the same way about Epiphone that I actually do about Fender acoustics.
Okay.
Fender acoustics are so underrated.
Agreed.
But they are phenomenal
Agreed.
guitars.
Absolutely.
I hate
that-
the peg heads. The headstocks are so
I-
ugly, and so I can't play them.
I mean, I
It's getting
understand
so
that.
picky, though.
But also, we've lost about 50% of our listenership.
They just tuned
no,
out
no,
just
no.
now,
I'm telling
yeah.
you, they
Yeah.
appreciate the depth
Look,
the
if you're
Bourbon
just tuning
Podcast.
in, and
It's all about
you-
analogies.
This is not the guitar
this
podcast.
is my guitar podcast.
You know, we're gonna, and we'll make some car analogies here pretty soon.
Absolutely.
Whatever you guys are into.
Whatever
Listen,
you
there's
do.
a time when I had 11 Rickenbackers at my house. Now I've got.
Oh my gosh, that's
11?
wild.
I used to make a lot of money.
And then you opened your own business.
And then you started.
Right
Now
now,
they're
though,
all for sale.
I've got Gretschens. I got all kinds of instruments up there. I've got a beautiful mandolin. I grab my Epiphone 99 times out of 100 because it
You're
does
not
what
the
I want
only-
it to do.
You're not the first person I've heard to say that.
Yes.
Yeah, my dad has a Rickenbacker that's fantastic.
Well, I'm talking about.
I gotta show you
Epiphones.
some pictures.
Like everybody kind
Epiphone,
of looks
yeah.
down at. Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
It's like the Toyota Camry versus Toyota versus Lexus. No.
It's not true.
And
Yeah.
Epiphone is a phenomenal guitar.
My wife's grandfather has almost 500,000 miles on his Camry. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no, yeah,
There's a
I'm not-
reason for
no,
that.
I'm definitely not. Don't take that as a hate on Toyotas.
I've been
Oh,
drinking
I'm
this, by the way. Am I supposed to dip it
Yeah,
in?
no,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are drinking bourbon, aren't we?
Yeah,
yeah.
let's do this. This is the Bourbon Podcast.
How do you guys like it?
It's on the hot side.
It is a little hot.
It's
I
really
agree.
rich.
But there's a really good there's a really good caramel popcorn.
Oh
there.
yeah, that's. I mean that.
On there.
That one gave me the shivers a
Yeah,
little
that's
bit.
that spicy meatball we were talking
That's
about.
a spicy meat debate.
That's a spicy
It's got to be
meatball.
what is their mash bill? Their F with all the rye in it.
So this is a blend of 6 different recipes.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's the OBSV, OBSK, and OBSF.
Are they running
Okay,
the Derby?
I don't understand.
No,
No,
that's the Old
This is
Forester
the
Classic.
Old Forester Turf
Oh,
Classic.
okay. Sorry.
They're running on grass.
We'll give you the line by line.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's OBSV, OBSK, OBSF, which is 3 different yeast strains and the high rye mash bill.
Nice.
Okay.
And it's also
Definitely.
OESV, OESK, and OESF. So again, those same 3 yeast strains from before, but with the different mash bill. So this is the 20% rye as opposed
Okay.
to the 35% rye.
And what is the proof?
so
what's the proof on this?
proof is 104.
Okay.
That's exactly.
Yeah, it tastes like 104.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think that the age is?
I
on
would have
it?
actually thought this was a higher than 104.
Yeah?
To be honest with you, yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
hot.
It's
it
got
hits
a,
you hard,
Yeah,
but that's that rye.
6 years sounds right.
6 to 7 year.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Totally.
exactly what it is. Yeah. I love this bottle. This is one of my favorite things that's come out of
It's-
Four Roses in a long
Oh
time.
yeah. I mean, I'd happily drink it.
They,
yeah.
they needed something like that.
And
yeah,
at-
single
at-
barrel is great.
And at
The
60
single barrel
bucks,
is phenomenal.
too.
Yeah. I like it a lot.
I mean, $60 really is not that bad for this bottle.
You know,
I think
for-
that it's totally approachable.
Yeah, when you're getting into I mean, that's kind of like 60, 70, maybe 80 is sort of that's my absolute
60 is
cutoff.
my cutoff,
Yeah.
unless it's special occasion. Totally.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean it's
Agreed.
got to be. I've gone a little crazy before, and
Yeah. we used to talk each other into a lot at
Yeah.
the bourbon aisle. We could
we want
rationalize.
some bourbon.
we
I
could
was high on the
rationalize
hog at
anything.
one point. And, $100 for this. Let's try it.
My
Fail.
God.
And what that was actually was it was the brandy cask finished.
Okay.
Woodford.
Yeah. And
Wait till the last bottle. Is all I'm saying.
All right.
Okay.
all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I
Dazzling.
see it sitting there. I mean, that is dark
I
as
know.
maple
I
syrup.
It
love
is.
it.
All right, so I'm going to say we do one more pour, and then we get on to the Murray Hill.
All
Let's do
right.
it. Is that cool?
Looking forward to
All
it.
right.
Oh, is that the last one?
No,
Okay.
he's skipping over
A
things.
little Cooper's
skipping
Craft,
over
or what we
things.
got here?
Oh, okay.
Can
Yeah.
we,
no,
can,
I mean,
wait a minute, can we vote
Lee,
on this?
Wait, all right, okay.
I want to vote.
now I enjoy what you're holding
Is
right
this a
now.
democracy?
What you're holding right now is looks like something that would be on the table at Cracker Barrel.
Yes, it does.
So
No, I
this
know
is
exactly what that is.
this is a blend that I did.
Oh.
This is the blend.
This
that you
is the
did.
blend. This
Okay.
is Weller Special Reserve and Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
Here.
This is Knob Creek, the Rat Pick.
Oh, I love this picture. Look at this picture.
Look at that.
They
Let me see
staged
this.
that. So these guys on the side of this, they have, if you know that iconic Rat Pack picture of, Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra all sitting there in their tuxedos smoking cigarettes.
Perfect.
These guys have replicated that photograph
That's
almost
awesome.
perfectly.
It's the guys from the Speakeasy, Wisconsin.
Okay.
They're
Well,
fabulous people. I love
Let me
hair-
jump
hair
in
on
there-
them for that,
Let me
because
jump
that's-
in right here
that's
and
awesome.
say
Yeah.
that I've got this epic basement downstairs that we're going to convert.
this building?
Of this building.
Okay.
Yes. 150 years old. We're going to convert to a speakeasy.
No.
I'm going to christen the Cynthiana Bourbon Society there.
I love it.
That's where I found the old Granddad bottle from God knows when. So
You just
we-
blew my mind,
Are
man.
we going to
couches
do a
down there.
tour later?
I'm so ready for this.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's coming.
And the last of the 3 is 2016 Booker's.
Okay.
It's off your rocker. It's my favorite Booker's.
Is that right?
Of all
So
time.
for
Let me
everybody
tell you this.
listening, just, vicariously be jealous.
So-
this is the lineup that we've got.
Yeah, so-
The last
when
Knob
you-
Creek I bought was hot and thin. The last Booker's I bought, I did not love. So you got
Which
to
one
change
did you
my
buy?
mind. Oh God, it came from I was an ambassador.
Yeah.
And ended up with a bottle.
Because the most recent Booker's I've not had yet, but is supposed to be just kind of okay.
It was all heat.
Yeah.
And the same thing, I did a store pick, Justin's on the Knob Creek 120,
Yeah.
and it took me forever to drink it.
All right. So which of the three do you guys want to go
Let's do
for?
Knob Creek.
You want to do the Knob Creek?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
I love the whole idea of Knob Creek. I don't love the Jim Beam product line, but Knob Creek,
I disagree, but okay.
Okay, so here's the thing.
But that's the beautiful part.
that last drink I just took was better than the first one.
And it was
Yeah.
a big
Yeah, I
drink.
think so, too.
Because he had more volume, you think?
it's that way with margaritas as well, though.
Or let me all tell you, here at the Burley Marketing Cafe, he has a slushy machine.
Yes,
full,
this is awesome.
a slushy machine full of Ale 81 and bourbon.
8.
And you talk about a really Kentucky thing.
How
man, it is
Kentucky is
Kentucky.
That's
that?
as Kentucky as you
You
can
cannot
get.
get more Kentucky than that. If Simon Kenton poured that, it's the only way to make it more Kentucky.
Well put.
Yes.
Well put.
What's
Something I
the,
said earlier.
If Simon Kitten had a slushy machine,
what's the bourbon that you use in the?
I've tried a few different things. I'm on Evan Williams right now. I'm going to
interesting.
move to Old Granddad.
The bottle of bond or the 80 proof? Or
I'm on
86?
I'm
What
on
is
the
it
fence.
now?
I think they do 80, sadly.
Is it 80 or 86?
I love their mash bill, though. I love Old Granddad.
Yeah. You know that's a Jim Beam product, right?
It is. Ish.
Here's my question. Why make anything less than 90 proof?
Dollars and cents. Bean counters are looking at this. People will buy, can I say bitch ass on the air?
you
you just did, so.
You just
80
did.
proof bourbon
Sorry,
all
kids.
day long.
So this is live.
hey, you will find both of those words in the Bible.
Well said.
Fair enough. Anyway, see, here's my thing is that, not everybody is.
It's true. It's true.
It's just
I'm just validating.
you guys, you do this. I bring you guys on the show, and it's just this is where
We
we
tried.
wind
We
up.
really did try.
And I really, every now and then I do enjoy this. This is
For y'all keeping score at home, this is when it gets good.
Hey, and for y'all keeping score at home, that was not Brett or myself. That was our new guest.
that was no.
That was the new guy. That's,
I did coin the phrase
New
bitch
kid, new
ass, and it's probably not
he's done
appropriate.
it again.
Like,
He's keeping those.
Rachel Hayden. Jim Beam White.
The
okay.
gauntlet is
Keep
thrown
those, keep those
down.
sensors on their
The
toes.
gauntlet is thrown down. There, yes.
Let's just move on. Here's the Snob Creek.
All right, the Snob Creek.
The Snob Creek smells amazing.
Perry is he's red right now. He's actually taking his earpieces out.
Snob Creek.
He stomped off in a fit.
He's gone to the basement.
The podcast has been shanghaied by Noel, Brett, and Josh.
As is wont to happen.
Yeah, Perry's nowhere to be seen.
Listen, a bitch is a female dog.
That's right. And an ass is.
And an ass is a donkey.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like I said, these are
Wait a
in
minute,
Webster's Dictionary.
Perry's come back. He's back. Perry's back.
What did I miss?
Webster's Dictionary, look them up.
We have some tacos, and we're doing some Knob Creek.
Okay, great.
That's right, we're back to the Knob Creek.
That's not all right.
This Knob Creek has an excellent nose.
This
Yes,
is
it
14
does.
years old.
Wow.
Oh my God.
This is a
14
14-year-old pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would explain the nose.
I can smell the rick house. I can smell the oak.
Yep.
I was going to have Perry. Would you consider reading some of the bottle? I was looking at that bottle, and it is really.
Is there
really,
literature?
Yeah, well
Yes.
done. They've really.
It's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. This is a dark.
They've
dark
got the full
color.
record of the.
Yeah. You can
the
tell
bourbon's
that's
life.
definitely been in a barrel a long time.
Yeah, so the sticker says Tier 1, Floor 5, Rack 20, Warehouse L, and again, barreled on October 14th, 2004, and bottled on February 28th, 2019.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay,
I was working at Toyota during those years. I
Yep.
had not yet to wear long pants.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Are you in the paint shop?
Still
or?
a wee baron.
Is that a euphemism? I'm confused.
I was a young man.
Yeah.
This has got to. I mean, this
It's
doesn't.
really good.
Yeah. This.
I mean, really, truly, it is a fantastic pour.
It has a totally different profile than anything we tasted tonight.
But it is in that dark camp that we were talking about
like,
with Wild Turkey 101.
Yes,
No,
totally.
Josh and I, we are.
It's robust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the best
where Josh and I tend to go toward is that dark,
Gravitate.
rich, leathery.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
Woody,
I'm in the same boat.
oaky.
Yeah.
Love
I mean,
it.
because that's
Dark.
what to me that's what makes bourbon
Yes.
is the
Yes.
oakiness kind of.
Listen, you get too old though, and it's like sucking on.
It's a fine line. It's absolutely
wood
a fine
chips.
line.
Giant oak stave.
right.
flavor.
Too much.
Yeah,
And
but this right here, I mean, like I said, this is full bodied. Just
Yeah.
this is rope. That's a.
Yeah. And for people
Listen,
that don't know,
There is no mistaking that is a bourbon whiskey.
Every
Right
summer,
there.
this goes into the barrel. Every winter, it comes out.
I love it.
And the oak does a magical trick
Yeah.
with these spirits, and this is evidence
Look
of
at
that magic.
this. We've got
the Amish
a
going down
horse
the
and
road.
buggy going down the road
He's-
right
he's-
now. Love that.
He's doing
I
the
love
Tokyo
that.
Drift in the rain.
He is.
That's the new model. Oh,
Yeah,
that's the 2019 right there.
I love
Yeah.
Yeah,
that.
it totally is. Yeah,
But
it's the LE
I know
edition.
you guys,
Yeah.
most of the listeners of this podcast are hardcore bourboners.
Well,
But,
you should be if you're listening to this.
exactly.
They really
but-
should be.
If not,
as
welcome, I think.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah.
We love you
we
guys.
make analogies of music and cars and
Yeah.
other things too.
And Amish wagons.
But
The
anyway,
Amish should do bourbon. They do a great bourbon, I'm sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But not a lot good happens in bourbon after 12 years.
that's what I've heard. Yeah.
And so that's
I
what,
agree
And that's what
completely.
makes bourbons older than 12 years so special, because that is that master distiller who's like
Really
he's got to
Having the
find those
finite-
perfect, yes.
Well,
Yeah.
and there's also master
Yeah.
tasters. And we started with the
That's what I'm
Kentucky,
talking about. Yeah,
with
exactly.
the Kentucky Owl,
The whole team.
and
yeah.
and they pulled
Yeah.
several years to make that.
I mean, it's a science. It really is.
It really,
it's
really
it's
is.
an art. It really is.
It's art and science. It's on
Yeah,
each hand.
absolutely.
And to that point, too, Bardstown Bourbon Company is doing something really interesting right now with their Fusion series, which they have incorporated older whiskey that they've sourced with younger whiskey that they've made. So the Fusion series #1 that's coming out here soon,
Nice.
it has a 2-year and a 3-year bourbon in it, but it also has a 13-year
Okay.
in it. I think it's 13 years. And the way that it marries together, the way that it mingles, is so good and so interesting, to the point where you drink it and you can pick apart the little bits of it. You can see where the young whiskey's coming from. You can see where the older whiskey's coming from. But it just marries so well that you don't even care that it's got 2-year-old, 3-year-old
That goes
product.
back to
Yeah.
the good is good.
Good is
At
good,
the
yeah,
end of the
absolutely,
day,
yeah.
we
it
talked
either is
about
or
that
isn't.
younger whiskeys have their benefits.
Yeah, I mean, if you like it, you like. I mean,
And that's the thing is
And
that
it's so
we can
subjective.
and we can
absolutely. That
Yes.
is the main. I mean,
and we can dump on whatever we don't like all day long.
but somebody else likes
but
it.
somebody else likes it.
Yeah.
I would
And that's
rather
okay.
gargle Drano
That's
than drink
okay.
certain brands.
Freddie Johnson said it best. The best way to drink bourbon is just the way you like it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Love
It's
that
like,
guy, by the
exactly.
way.
It's like we
Freddie's,
used.
Freddie's
Freddie's
fantastic.
awesome.
I love Freddie.
Yeah.
Johnson
It's like
so
we
much.
used to.
You know what he always says? Isn't that neat? Isn't that neat?
We used to
about that?
really, kind of dog on. Oh, God, it's bourbon and Coke, bourbon. And,
I know
yeah.
the story. Yep.
And what changed our opinion on that? Who was it that had the quote on that?
Booker No.
Booker No.
The great
Booker,
Booker No.
he knows a little
He
bit.
was
Yeah.
interviewed, and someone asked him, what do you think about someone that takes the best bourbon in the world and mixes it with Coke? And his response was, well, I guess they've got the best bourbon and Coke in the world.
There you go.
Well put.
Different
Perfect,
strokes for different
perfect.
folks. Hey, if you like it,
How
That's
many
spot
of
on.
us didn't cut our teeth on bourbon and Coke?
absolutely, yeah.
You know,
It's still handy.
I
when
wish
you're
I had.
trying
I
to-
would have liked it more earlier.
I'll be the first to admit, I found it to be, I didn't drink bourbon the first time and go, oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever. It was an acquired thing for me.
It totally was.
It's very much an acquired thing.
Listen, I
You're
went through.
you're constantly refining your palate and
I
everything
went to
else.
the regions of Scotland and delved in Ireland, and then it was Wild Turkey 101, which brought me back to bourbon, and I go, now I get it.
Yeah.
There's all these notes. I'm
Yep.
getting the corn. I'm getting
Yep.
the cinnamon, the
Yeah, you
oak.
take a little bit of time away from-
Magical.
To that point, like I'm still sitting here with this same pour that we just
Yeah.
had.
Well,
and
as we're
the
drawing closer
first-
to the Derby, though, drain that. Let's rinse our glasses because we got a very special pour to close with.
That's what I was going to
But we're not
point
closing.
out.
We're not closing yet.
For you listeners at home, what's happening now is subtly each of our bourbon podcasters have drained their glass, added some water.
I've not, but I'm working on that. I was about to make a point.
Well, the Perry pour is
He's
going
heading
on.
toward a conclusion. Sorry, you were hijacked. So.
yes, I got
wasn't
hijacked
aware.
there. But I mean, just in the short time from when we first poured this, and I took the first drink, and I had that initial impression, and then I just took another drink. 7 to 10 minutes later, and it's a whole different impression.
It absolutely is.
I like it so much better on this second drink.
So
And like I said, that's the magic of bourbon.
Complexity.
I have been on Knob Creek picks.
Okay.
I have selected Knob Creek barrels. And for a long time, I said, this is the best Knob Creek pick I've ever had. This is the best Knob Creek pick I've ever had.
Now,
Until the next one.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Perry, to go back to what Josh was just pointing out, when you do these picks, do you have an opportunity to kind of wait a few minutes and have a second drink of it and see
Yeah,
how
I mean,
it
you really
changes?
gotta. I mean, and that's what's great about this is we sit here and we sort of get derailed and we talk about whatever while my glass sits here, and that's why I like the Perry pours, is because I can get that first drink,
Well,
and then I can sit here and we can pontificate on things and whatnot, and then I go back and I have another drink, and it's totally
different.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
absolutely the complexity is. I mean,
Well, with bourbon, you cannot judge a book by its cover. That's 100% true.
amen.
Amen.
And I think
Yes.
that's why people who, for lack of a better phrase, bottom shelf shame are wrong.
They're
Yeah.
totally wrong.
Because, I mean, for years we had 6-year Heaven Hill bottled and bond for $13 a bottle. That was
Exactly.
phenomenal.
And now you can't find
got-
it.
Yeah, we
Well,
love
and now
that.
it doesn't exist anymore.
Now it's impossible.
They're not making it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a shop
And
in
if they do,
Lexington.
they're gonna rebrand it and sell it for
Twice as
$60
a
a
lot
bottle.
more, yes.
There's a shop in Lexington that I have found it at for $35.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
That's
It was
2 times more than it's
$13.
Yes.
yeah, and I think we've made
That's
this point.
over. That's 3 times as
I think
much,
we made this
basically.
point, before. We used to go into, the liquor store, and it was an afterthought.
Yep,
Totally. I will say this:
I
on
guess
your way
I'll
out of
get it.
town tonight, stop at my local. I think we still got some on the shelf.
Really.
You might
I
just
bought
buy
4 or 5 bottles. I brought some here just in case.
This guy.
This
Yeah.
guy.
This guy.
This guy. I love this guy. What up?
Seriously.
So what are we on to now?
We'll close with Murray Hill Club special release. This is one of 24 bottles available in the state of Kentucky.
Let me stop you real quick. Are we closing on this?
Well,
Well, I have to go to work.
No,
you're off
You guys
work.
can keep
you own
rolling.
The place. You're the boss.
you are the you.
I am the boss.
I love it.
And my bartender's kicking tail over there.
Oh, he's the man.
He's doing
He
a great
is the-
job.
By the way, Noel has found an awesome guy. What is your bartender's name?
Daniel Fusen.
All right, this guy is
All right,
a
Daniel.
top-notch bartender.
He
I
comes
mean,
with a great pedigree. He
Yeah.
was a regional trainer for Applebee's.
Okay.
So
basically, here in the small town of Cynthiana, you get a big-town
it
bartender.
was unbelievable to find this guy. And with all my staff is amazing here, but Daniel's a real asset. And I'm going to shove my love of bourbon so hard on him, he's going to wear it like a suit, a bad suit. But we're going to do a Murray
that
Hill
legal?
Club.
Okay. So
Yes, it is,
is this going to be your last one with us?
This I got to roll.
Okay.
All right.
Murray
Fair
Hill
enough.
Club special release.
Okay.
One of
I'm very
24
excited
bottles in
for
the
this.
state. I read a few reviews. I've read that it has every flavor that you can imagine with bourbon crammed into a bottle.
I love it.
Huh. All right.
I mean, it's dark. It is
My impression,
dark.
my impression, I've had a single tablespoon of it. Blew me away. It's made with 19-year-old, 11-year-old, and 9-year-old bourbon.
So the
gosh.
youngest is 9.
Yeah.
And then it's finished in a Pinot de Charente.
Say
cask.
that again.
Yeah, right.
One more time.
Pinot de Charente.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
a
that one.
Scottish
Yeah.
guy speaking French.
This is a
right
French aperitif.
Scotch. Hey, it's not Scotland.
This is a French aperitif. Just think of cognac, maybe.
Oh, okay.
It's in those
Sure.
lines. So
I love my whiskey that tastes like dirt.
this is a deluxe pour. It's something that not everyone's going to be able to find.
Right.
So you're in
So
Our Scottish people, we love
Perry,
you. We
We've had
really do.
several of these type of blends today, right? That are
Oh, yeah.
I'm
2 or 3
I'm
years.
looking forward to this. Yeah, this is.
I'm gonna ask you to do a Perry pour.
And I'm interested to see how this compares to Kentucky Owl,
Yep.
because it is another blend.
It is a blend.
It's a little bit older.
Yeah,
a lot
it is.
older, really.
19 is old.
19 is really old.
19
And
is old. Yeah,
like
for
we
you.
said before,
Don't,
anything,
don't.
I'm not going there. I'm just saying when you get to that point where things could go bad, but you have a master distiller who nurtured that bourbon through that 19 years.
I like this nose.
It's very plummy.
The ethanol is toned way down.
It's toned down, but there's a lot going on there.
No.
There's some
could
leather,
you-
there's some oak, there's some rick house.
Could you read us the proof real quick before we get too far along?
112 proof.
112, but it
That's-
does
Doesn't
not
smell like it.
No, it does
Doesn't
not.
smell like it at
No.
all.
I'm going
Let's-
to tell you.
let's
We're
cheers
gonna
on
we're
this.
We're going
clinking
to
this
cheers
one.
on this
Yeah.
for sure.
Cheers.
Cheers.
There's some plum, some sweetness, a lot of
Yeah.
sugar.
I think the sugar is really prevalent as well.
Spicy.
Wow.
Spicy.
I'm telling you right now,
This
that's
is so
stepping out of
good.
your Camry and getting into a Ferrari.
That's good right there.
That's what that is.
That's good. And here's the thing, and here's where my, you absolutely cannot be the snob that I was talking about earlier, because nowhere on this bottle does it say Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
Yeah.
Nope.
It says blended bourbon whiskey.
This is so robust.
It's deep. That's the word I
It's
use. Is carry.
so deep.
Yeah.
It just has so many layers to it that, I mean, gosh, one sip, there's no way that I can
Now, this is
pick
one
it
of
apart.
those that you
No,
want to.
and here's the thing. What I'm going to do with this, I'm gonna let this sit for a minute.
This is where
and
a
then I'm gonna
Perry
take it.
pour
Very
comes
good
into
idea.
play.
Yeah.
You need
This
to
is-
drink this over about half an hour.
And this is why you don't, people, don't shoot your bourbon for the
Please
love
don't
of
shoot your
God.
bourbon.
Now-
Don't shoot your
Thank
bourbon.
you.
Let me jump in here. Josh is a musician, and people love to buy musicians' drinks.
They do.
And,
They do.
and
And
one
we
of the-
appreciate that. We really do appreciate
Please keep
it.
buying us
They
drinks.
love it. All right,
Don't
they love it.
stop.
Do not stop
But-
buying
Yeah,
us
we're
drinks.
by no means
Just
are we
not
saying
shots.
don't do this.
But often they want to do a shot with the musician. And
What do you want a shot of? What do you want a shot of?
So
Nothing.
we were at one of our favorite bars, CCI in Lexington, the oldest bar. in
Chevy
Lexington.
Chase Inn. That's
Chevy Chase Inn.
yeah.
It was opened right after
Salute.
Prohibition was repealed,
oldest continuously operating bar in Lexington.
and a fellow bought Josh a nice big tall bourbon, but wanted to shoot it with him, and as he is wont to do, he obliged that fan.
I did, and there's
This
the very
quote was born.
very popular meme. What's that beer? I don't often drink beer, but
But when I do,
yeah,
I drink
and I
dosages.
can't. I said I don't often shoot bourbon, but when I do, I wish I'd sipped it.
Well
Hey, listen.
put over the microphone.
And that shirt's coming out soon here at
It needs to.
barbershop.threadless.com. So be on the
and,
lookout.
bourbon, like I say, bourbon. Yes, you shoot things that you want to get. You want
don't want
it
to taste
over
it.
quickly.
Yeah.
You want it over
Yeah.
quickly.
Get that down.
Yeah. Oh, I just want that down. So to
I just
start
want
to-
that buzz.
I
It's
want
like taking medicine.
enjoy your bourbon,
Yes.
people. Enjoy it. Sip it.
And this
give
is
it-
one
give
that
it
you want to
time.
last.
What was the year 19 years ago? 1999.
Yeah,
Or actually
yeah.
the year 2000.
2000.
So the oldest bourbon here is from the year 2000.
Wow,
It's pretty cool.
That's
That is cool.
Awesome.
Y2K.
I was still in
Yeah.
high school at that
You
time.
were.
Yeah. But this is delicious.
You
It
cannot
really
unpack
is.
it into a single drink. It's very
And
complex.
that's why, like I say, I like to take a sip, and then I like to, ruminate on that a minute.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, it's got that leathery smooth front.
It does. This is the lounge with the fireplace and the leather-bound books
Yes,
and the cigars.
rich mahogany, etc., etc. Yes.
But then it hits you with a rye forward spice that you weren't expecting.
Yes.
This would be so good with a cigar.
I feel like I should be smoking a pipe with a mustache and a tweed jacket on.
You really need a tweed jacket for
Tweed.
this. Yes. With patches on the elbows.
Yeah, absolutely.
totally.
All right, everybody say it.
It's like juice box.
That's the word of the day. Tweed.
As we draw nearer to the Derby, by the way, we are getting
Still not the
Is it
Derby. We are still
the
no. It is
135th, 150th,
145th.
145. I was right in the middle.
145. You were there.
I was close.
Yeah, and that having been said, what a great tradition! What a great Kentucky
Absolutely.
tradition we have.
Totally agree.
When the whole world, once a year, the whole world focuses on our state. No other state can really say that.
No.
They cannot.
And that's a special thing.
What does Nebraska do?
yeah.
Sorry, Nebraska. What do you do, Nebraska?
Okay, we just picked you out of the random. Noel did.
and
We've
know,
lost so many listeners in this episode.
Nebraska,
you know
we
what?
really do love you.
That's what the
You do something. We're not sure what, but you do something.
That's what the comment section's for.
But you know, how many other
We love
states can
Nebraska.
really say, "Hey, once a year"? I mean, we're recognized by
Yeah.
for. Here's what I've
International
always
people.
said: we're recognized for the greatest things.
Thank you.
The best horses,
Yes,
the best whiskey.
absolutely.
You know,
Beautiful women.
beautiful
you.
women, college basketball.
Absolutely.
The Kentucky Derby.
Yes,
I left out an expletive there. So.
no, yeah, I'm glad you. We're glad you did. We're
Thank
glad
you.
you did.
Saves me a lot
Perry,
of
the
editing.
moderator, is glad you did.
Saves me a lot of editing.
But you know that to that end, I was telling Perry earlier. I moved out of state, and I lived out of state for a long time, and
7 years,
never
7
got
years.
homesick except for this day.
How about
every
that?
year. This is the only day of the year I would get homesick.
Listen, no, we're not tuning in to watch something happening in Liechtenstein
Right.
or Stalingrad.
If
It's
you-
the Kentucky Derby. We're drinking bourbon. We've
If
got
you're born and
amazing
raised
people
in
here.
Kentucky and you don't get teared up when
Thank you.
that song plays
Yes.
while those horses are parading to the post of the Kentucky, I don't know what to do for you.
Let me have a little quick aside. Josh, what he did, he moved to Montana. And
Beautiful place.
And he
It is.
cowboyed in the Big Sky Country. But there's an awesome little bar called Stacy's.
I'm going to give my shout out.
Here it is.
Much love to Stacy's right now.
All right,
There's
now-
no way
Stacy's.
any of you are listening right now. I wish you were, but I love you guys.
What you guys got to
dearly.
understand, this
Meredith.
bar was built in the cowboy times, and it has not changed much.
So got the 2 doors you walk through.
Oh yeah, and all
No, it's a real door. Because here's the thing. Swinging doors didn't exist. That's a movie thing.
that's Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah, swinging doors that's a movie creation.
But to have all the customers in cowboy hats is a real thing.
That's a real thing.
yeah, it's a real thing.
And oftentimes Josh's horse might be tied up out front. But the Kentucky Derby was coming up, and he'd made his place as a regular, and he was invited behind the bar.
No, I invited myself.
Oh, yeah, he invited himself behind the
He
bar.
ended up behind the bar.
Yeah.
So I told everybody, because out there, I mean, it's just they don't think of it the way we think of it.
Right.
It's just, they've never had a real mint julep. Well,
That is so
that
sad
day they
and
were going to
so
have a real
terrible.
mint julep.
Yes.
And I think this is where you're going with this story.
Go on.
Yeah.
I called Brett and I said, because Brett's the mixologist.
He's the cocktail guy.
This
yeah.
guy knows.
If you don't know it, he'll tell you.
Yeah. I said, Brett, I've got to make, I've got to make real mint juleps.
80
for
mint
these people.
juleps.
Oh my God.
Well, not 80, but whoever
That's a
wants
bunch.
them. I've got to make, true blue mint juleps for these people. It was a real Kentucky experience. I said, I'm embarrassed actually to tell this, but I said, how do you make simple syrup?
So I explained him the basic steps, and Josh
Golden
said,
griddle
Which,
or
for
Mrs.
all of you
Butterworth.
listening right
Yeah.
now that are in my boat, I'll save you the embarrassment. You make simple syrup very simply.
Sugar and water.
You boil sugar and water.
Equal parts sugar and water.
Equal parts sugar and water.
Josh
And Brett
said-
told me that in that very parlance, and I said, oh well, that's probably why they don't call it complicated.
It's not complicated
All
syrup.
right, bye, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you very
I got
much.
this. I got this.
And long story longer, I made juleps for everybody, and they loved them. And
Awesome.
God love you, all my Gatlin Gateway people.
Listen, so many people I've converted them. They said juleps are terrible, and then you make them a real one, and they go,
You make them the rich.
juleps are amazing.
They are dangerously good.
Slap that stuff. Bring the oils to the
Absolutely.
surface.
Yeah.
Muddle it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make your syrup. Put good bourbon in it.
Good
yes.
bourbon.
And the roots of the mint julep are
It was a
You know.
breakfast drink.
but I mean
That's
it's still
awesome.
sort of
Yeah.
I'm doing breakfast wrong.
It's still sort of argued to this day who created it, but
As is the entire history of bourbon.
exactly,
Well, yes.
exactly. But
That's fair.
the main thing is, the main ingredient is bourbon.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes.
Put
main
it this way,
ingredient is
when the first big bartender's guide came out in 1862, This is, like you go to Liquor Barn, you might buy the Black Book.
Yes.
This 1862, in America's darkest time, bartenders were really coming out and making a difference.
It was the birth of the Sazerac and
Exactly.
the old-fashioned at the very same time. Yeah.
Yep. So in 1862,
An age of enlightenment.
in 1862, the julep was described as so old-timey and out of fashion.
That's awesome.
That it's the only drink in the entire guide that has an excerpt from a newspaper describing the granddaughter bringing out a julep to her grandfather on the veranda.
I love that so much.
to enjoy
Veranda.
the summer
The third
afternoon.
word of the day.
Hey, there's a
veranda.
lady here
Veranda.
tonight. She came to my house last week and proffered me a copy of a bartender's book, a cocktail book from 1936 that her father had when he was in the military. It's
Excellent.
fantastic. Oh my God! I should have brought it tonight.
Yeah,
It's the greatest gift.
All you
Come to the
aficionados out there,
Cafe.
get Jerry Thomas's book.
Yeah, Jerry Thomas.
Yeah.
There's another great one.
1862.
Yeah.
That's it.
Love
The
it.
Savant Guide to.
Now, everything, pretty much every drink in there has raw egg yolks. In it.
There's an egg white in
That's
it.
fair.
Absolutely.
And listen,
Hey, you
and
got to
some-
get your protein. I mean,
and some
you got to get
substances-
drunk and get your protein at the same
it's
time.
all there. I love bourbon. I love absinthe. I cannot stand the Sazerac. I'd rather drink nails, gargle bees than a Sazerac. Yes.
Oh, the rye?
I don't love the Sazerac. And I've made it
the-
many
The
times.
actual
Okay,
Sazerac
well, we're gonna-
cocktail with
not
the
the
with the
Sazerac,
absinthe
right,
in
the
it.
cocktail.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah,
You do an
yeah.
absinthe wash on the glass, and
Okay.
I just cannot do it. I can't go there.
Anyone that knows
No, let
me
me
knows
let me
I'm
let
an
me
absinthe
interject
tour,
here.
so-
Also,
Me too.
Since we're on the topic, is there any chance we can get? I mean, can we get around to proper juleps for the?
Listen, I picked the mint today.
Oh yeah,
Today.
like 200 feet from this very spot.
Why don't we order juleps on the air?
Let's do that.
Okay, sure. Why not?
Let's
bring
put
a
my
waitress
bartender
over.
to the
I
test.
thought
I mean,
we
we
were
are
almost-
in
I
we
thought
are
we were
in the
almost
heart
done.
of the bluegrass.
Yes.
On
Cynthia,
Derby
we have
A
Day.
few minutes before Derby, let's get some juleps made from the bar with mint I picked today.
Sure, why
I made
not?
the syrup last night.
Beautiful.
We're gonna do it with Makers, and that's awesome.
Hey, Noel,
we can
how many
we can actually do it
bars
with anything we want.
were in downtown Cynthiana historically?
There were 19 distilleries. I'm not sure about the bars. There were many, many
Oh my
bars.
God, we could actually make the Rolls Royce
Hey,
of mint
that's up to
juleps right
Perry
now.
right there.
No,
if he
no.
wants to go
Perry's
that way,
got this.
we'll go
Perry's
that
got
way.
this.
How about a Booker's mint julep?
Oh,
we
my.
did not
make
have
that
the
happen.
boogers. Perfect. Well done. Splendid.
Oh.
All right. What we're having here now,
Okay,
what
Noel's
you're
gonna
seeing
step
at home,
aside
Not
right
yet.
now. We're
for all
gonna.
of you keeping
It's on
score,
the way.
I'm actually really excited.
I'm
about
pretty
this.
pumped for this. I don't normally like mint juleps.
Noel has dropped
It's
his
Derby Day,
earphones,
bro.
his
It's Derby
microphone,
Day.
and is headed to the bar with a bottle of Booker's.
It's Derby Day. You know, I've
I don't have
really
anything to surprise him with, really, other than this.
Oh,
we,
the Cracker
we still
Barrel.
have a. Noel thinks he's done after this,
He
but
thinks he's done.
Perry still holds in his hands his own personal blend.
I really enjoy this place.
It's a
Noel
solid
has
salt.
he has
Listen to
really
Josh.
created a really unique place here in Cynthiana. I mean, it's got this, by day, if you're sort of into the Starbucks thing, but you want sort of the, locally sourced Kentucky Proud Starbucks thing, he's got that. He's got fantastic coffee and sort of, quiches and all these sort of, breakfast pastries and things like that.
They have a cinnamon roll here that is gaining fame rapidly. It's called the Sin City. That's C-Y-N City.
He's just,
cinnamon roll.
Also, the majority of this podcast has been me just sitting back and letting you all talk.
Yeah,
It's been really
I noticed
fun.
you've been really quiet for a
We're
while.
I
good at
have
this.
been really
We're good at
quiet
this,
for a little
yeah.
while, which is okay.
And I
But
wasn't
you
sure
guys
if
have
that
had
was a
lot
good
to
thing
say.
or a bad thing, but you're just sort of sitting back, just sort of,
He's in a beautiful posh chair. and
I'm
a
really
wonderful
enjoying
corner
it.
of the,
he was like sitting
marketing
back, just sort of
cafe.
like, massaging the, the top of his, the crown of his nose.
bridge
here.
of my nose,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just sort of like what.
Can I be honest with you guys?
What have I
though?
done?
Please.
This
Please.
is my ideal Derby Day, honestly.
Perfect.
This
Yeah,
is
perfect.
exactly what I wanted from Derby Day today.
And what else can you ask of a Derby Day? We're sitting. We've been drinking the finest bourbons.
You know what I would really like?
our state has to offer.
You know what I'd really like, though? A hot brown.
Have
I
you
would-
ever had the hot brown from the Brown Hotel?
Yes.
it will ruin you on every other one
It
ever.
absolutely has.
Yeah, the hot brown. I mean, all our Kentucky listeners know what the hot brown is. It's basically an open-faced sandwich.
Yeah, it's got turkey, bacon, tomato, and it's on bread, and it's
Mornay
covered in a
sauce.
Mornay sauce.
All right, now, for all you listeners who are not from Kentucky,
And
this
I
is
don't
an
know
open
how-
invitation to come.
I don't
see
know
us.
how the Brown
Visit
Hotel does
us.
it differently than other places,
But they do it so well.
it will
so
ruin you on
perfectly.
every other. Because I'm not gonna lie, I love Ramsey's dearly. Ramsey's is a Kentucky institution. Love it dearly. Great food, just comfort food. But I mean, their hot brown was sort of my go-to hot brown.
Yeah.
And then I went to the Brown Hotel. And
it ruined
I'll
you.
never be able to eat I'll never be able to eat another hot brown that's not the Brown Hotel's hot brown.
I agree. Have you tried this yet?
I have not. Because we've
you
been talking
really
about hot
should.
browns, and now I'm just I'm like salivating.
I really want a hot brown
oh,
now.
God, I want a hot brown so bad.
We should go to Stella's in Lexington. Have you been to Stella's in a while?
We should go to the Brown Hotel in Louisville.
We should go to the Brown Hotel. Yeah, let's drive for another hour.
Yeah,
and
let's do
Go
that.
to the Brown Hotel.
No, we're not. No, we're not doing that.
That's not a thing.
It's not happening.
But
That again, that's the beauty of Kentucky. We are improvise, adapt, and overcome. Everybody's got their own take on the hot brown. And
none of
it's
them
kind
are
of like
wrong.
bourbon. Everybody's got their own. They're going to do their own thing with it.
Yeah.
As we've witnessed today.
So what are we drinking now, Perry?
So this was my blend
Oh, this is your
of
blend,
Weller
yeah.
Special Reserve
Yep.
and Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
Now, what brought you to decide these two
So
needed to be blended?
here's the thing. A couple of things, actually. A few weeks ago, we did an episode on personal blends where we just kind of like throwing something together. We thought maybe it would be good.
Here's our juleps.
And
Our first juleps have arrived.
Yes.
God, those look good.
Beautiful.
And I was waiting for some inspiration, and a buddy of mine had posted that he had done it was a 2-to-1 blend of Weller Special Reserve and Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Because he had a decanter that was bigger than he thought it was going to be.
Here's the other two. Noel is back.
Oh my
With
God.
Bookers.
Splendid.
I don't know what to do with my hands right now.
All right, now,
So Noel,
what Noel doesn't know, while he was gone, while you were gone, Noel, there's been an extra little pour for you there.
yeah, we got an extra little pour here. This is a Perry's special
The
blend.
bonus pour.
Yeah.
Bonus. This is the bonus. Bonus blend.
So, Noel, to catch you up, this is Weller Special Reserve and Elijah Craig Barrel Proof
And
blended
it
together.
smells delicious.
It's very, very good.
Listen, maple,
Mm-hmm.
honey.
very mapley, yes.
Yes.
I love that honey note.
I do too.
Honey is a subtle note. It's hard to find.
yeah.
And
Big
it's
old
got
kinda
this
honeysuckle.
and it's got this perfect color, and the fingers. For those of you that aren't familiar, when you kind of roll your glass around,
The bartender's just come back asking for more mellow corn.
I love that.
when you sort of roll your glass around, and then you
Yep. You see the fingers?
you see these sort of waxy fingers roll
Oh,
down.
beautiful.
And-
Y'all know what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So this is essentially a 4-grain bourbon
okay.
because it has wheat in its mash bill, quote unquote, and rye. This is what I have always wanted from a 4-grain bourbon.
Okay.
I think this is right up my alley.
Okay.
Let's see if it's right up our alley.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on the record here and saying that's every bit as good as the Colonel 4-grain. No question.
It's spicy.
I
It
like
is
spicy.
spicy.
I need rye in my bourbon, though.
Definitely spicy.
A, thank you. Cheers. That makes me pretty happy.
Yeah.
B, yes, it is spicy, but it
But it's
doesn't.
a good spicy.
It's not like contradicting the sweetness of the
Right.
wheat mash bill.
Yep.
And when I say these things, that's what I want. I say, I don't want.
You want something full bodied. You
Yeah,
want it to be
when I
rounded.
drink
and-
bourbon,
yeah.
I want to know I'm drinking bourbon.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I love and I respect the Weller line, but I don't love wheated bourbons. So I love Maker's Cask, but the Weller line,
We've talked about this before.
I
never
think you
buy
have,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you not like larceny?
Larceny is
It was
okay.
a very passive
Yeah,
answer
well,
to
yeah,
that
that
question.
took a long time to answer that.
Yeah.
I get larceny, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not gonna lie, I don't love it either.
This is solid. It's a good blend.
I like larceny quite a bit.
Well, I mean,
But thank
and
you,
that's
though.
like
Yeah,
I say, that's the beauty of it's so subjective.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it.
So I cannot take full credit for this blend. Ty Gallenback, who is a friend of mine and friend of the show, was the one who came up with it, and I just kind of tweaked it a little bit to make it what it is.
Okay.
But I really do love this blend,
It's excellent.
honestly. I'm just such a fan of it.
I'm going to be the wheelchair the rest of the night.
Yeah.
It's a good blend. It's a good
It's a
blend.
great way to find
Like,
the,
what proof are we roughly
Yeah,
at
what are we
there?
looking at?
Oh, shoot.
Somewhere between 95 and 105.
I think it's
in there.
somewhere. I think it's in the low hundreds.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and
Man,
look.
those guys have some tans.
Oh, Bob Baffert.
That's like Ric Flair stuff there.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Baffert is currently on the TV there for the Kentucky
Yeah,
Derby.
we're watching this on NBC here. And
Cotton
it's
balls
Derby
and
Day.
leather.
It's Derby Day. And we have the most beautiful
Here we
mint
go.
juleps you have ever laid
Let's
your
get back to
eyes on
Derby
in front
Day.
of us right
Thanks
here.
to
Made
Noel
Locally
Rydell.
sourced mint.
Noel, did you make these or did your bartender?
My bartender, Daniel Fusen, made these.
Daniel Fusen. He
Muddled.
is
We've got mint muddled in the bottle.
right here
bottom of
in
the
the
glass.
small town of Cynthiana,
We've got a
Kentucky. We
spray
have a
with
top-notch big city bartender.
Oh, we got to clink glasses. These.
Oh,
This
absolutely.
is definitely a toast.
We got to clink
All
these.
right,
Cheers.
for all you people
Gentlemen.
out there in Bourbon Podcast
okay.
land who are not from Kentucky, today you're a Kentuckian.
Today you are.
And cheers to that.
Cheers.
Good friends, good bourbon, good drinks.
Oh, absolutely.
Cheers.
Good memories.
Huzzah.
We made this syrup last night.
Well balanced.
So good.
You can
Well
taste the
balanced.
Bookers.
So good.
You can taste the Bookers.
And that's the beauty. Is you can taste the bourbon in it. You have to taste it.
You have
It's
to
not-
taste bourbon.
That's why I like high proof cocktails.
Thank you.
That's
Yes.
why I like high proof cocktails.
People.
It's because I want to taste the bourbon.
When you
Gotta
read the
survive
description,
that
someone
ice.
says that'd be a good blender.
Right.
Instant turn off.
Yeah.
I wish
No.
you all
Yeah.
were all here right now because we are truly enjoying just ambrosia.
And they're
absolutely.
jockeying the horses out to the gates as we speak.
This is
it's
the perfect
It's
timing,
muddy at
perfect
Churchill.
Oh, it's muddy. It's nasty. It's,
It's
Derby. It's
awesome.
Derby.
They've-
If you're
the-
just tuning in, we are about to watch the Kentucky Derby.
The favorite has been
It's
scratched.
Derby Day. For all the people.
It's raining. We have juleps.
Yeah. For everybody that's not living under a rock.
I just want to say thank you guys for being part of this episode.
thanks
It's
for
been
having us.
Thank you for
so
having
much
us back.
fun.
I hope we
And
haven't embarrassed you like we did last time.
You have not at all. This has been so much
Splendid.
fun.
Well, it's not
and,
over yet, so.
no, it's not
It's
over
almost
yet
over.
because we do have another segment or two.
There's
to
still
get
time for
through.
us to embarrass you.
There is. We do have another segment or two to get through before we
we're
close
ready.
out the show.
Love it.
First
Love
and
it.
foremost, our recommendation segment, Tips and Bits.
Nice.
What recommendations do you guys have
Let's go with Noel.
this week?
Hey, listen. Middle of the road, Old Granddad, Bottled and Bond. Amazing mixer. Amazing neat pour. If you can find it, Old Pogue Master Select. You're going to pay a little bit. It's
Amen to that.
$50 plus. We had it today.
If you can find it.
Excellent.
Finished it today.
But we're serving at the bar, at the Burley Market and Cafe, Russell's Reserve Single Barrel. Buy
Cynthiana,
it.
Kentucky.
Listen, Jim knows what he's doing. This is an amazing product.
Yeah. I totally
I
agree.
totally went to the nose there when it's wrong family. We're way too many families in here, and you rolled with
You're
it.
talking about the Russells,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Not
Russell's
the nose.
Reserve.
I was just going to let you
Jimmy
go.
and
but-
Eddie Russell.
Yes.
They do an amazing job. The single barrel, one of my favorites, Desert Island top 5.
Yeah.
Buy it. $50-something a bottle. Well worth it. Go to Total Wine or come see me here. I'll pour you one. You can taste it. Absolutely.
Yeah, better yet.
For sure.
Yeah.
Come see him here. Burley Market Cafe, Cynthiana, Kentucky.
Go ahead, Brett. Yeah. You're
Mr.
up.
Bellamy.
All right. I got to tell you, the Rusty Pistol Saloon will always have on hand Bottled and Bond, Very Old Barton,
VOB.
VOB.
$13.99.
Absolutely.
That is one of those overlooked. It's ridiculous. It's bottom shelf, and I'm telling you, people, the Bottled and Bond, you cannot go wrong.
If it's BIB, it cannot be bad.
Perfect.
Correct.
Well,
I agree.
Put. Well put.
I agree.
I would agree with that.
All right, Josh.
I'm going to go kind of a different direction here, and it's a little spendier, but I really do like it. I really, it's been a long time since I've had it, but the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, it's. I don't know. It's just, it does it for me.
The
It's so
double,
funny.
yeah, the double oaked has become our standby.
And they were sort of the, I don't know who was the first to really do the double oak, but it was sort of the first that I ever saw.
I'm going to
Right.
divulge, man. I bought it when it came out. I bought it the week it hit the market,
Yeah.
and I thought it was thin.
Yeah.
I thought it was watery and gimmicky. And so Brett has been selling me on this for years.
Yes,
I had
I
it
have.
2 days ago, and I thought the very same thing. I don't love it. So that,
don't love
that
it?
just,
Okay. I mean,
it just shows how many different colors
Again,
there are in the
right.
bourbon
yeah,
world.
subjective.
Well,
subjective.
we were
That's
very
the word.
lucky to get some of those early bottles, maybe a little post-release. And my beautiful wife, Annie, found a bottle that we forgot in our backup bar and brought it out.
Awesome.
And it was the old original.
The tall bottle.
Yeah, that was
the
in
tall
the-
bottle with like the
classic
copper,
Woodford bottle.
colored label. Yep.
And we doted on that bottle every last drop.
But here's also the thing is, that's when we had been sort of used to just drinking regular makers and regular. This
Fair
is
enough.
before
Right.
we really
Woodford.
kind of got into, went down the rabbit hole of all this.
He
really
said rabbit
good-
hole.
Yeah, rabbit hole.
That's a whole other.
Hey, Rabbit Hole's a good-
other podcast.
Rabbit Hole's a pretty good bourbon.
Okay.
Have you guys not had it?
Give them a few years. It's going to be.
It's going to be really
amazing.
good.
Yes,
I
they're
agree.
young. They're still young, but it's going to be epic.
So I got 2 recommendations. One's a little bit in spite, but E.H. Taylor Small Batch.
oh, you suck.
No.
It's so good. If you can drink it, you
Yeah,
should
if we
definitely
could-
do that.
EHC
If-
small batch is perfect.
I agree.
bourbon.
If we could have found a bottle of it today.
Yeah, like 5 minutes sooner.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you're listening
Sorry.
right now, but guy in the Puma shirt
Yeah, Puma man.
at the Richmond
Cradling
Road
the
location
bottle
of
in
Liquor
your
Barn.
arms like a baby.
You totally harshed our buzz today, bro. We came all the way to get that bottle, and you got it first.
The other one, though, is...
I hope
it-
you're enjoying it. I really do.
The other one, though, is if you want to come and have a really good experience that is super Kentucky-based, come in October so we can go to Keeneland and
Awesome.
let me know because
Absolutely.
I would love to spend some time with y'all out at Keeneland. That about does it for this episode. Is there anywhere on social media that everybody can find you all?
The BurleyMarketandCafe.com, or actually the BurleyMarketCafe.com, or on Facebook. Find us. We are there. Come here. We have an amazing chef. We have an amazing sous chef. We have an amazing bartender. We've got great beer selections, bourbon selections, and the food is amazing.
notch.
Really,
We can tell you how many
top
miles
really is,
everything
yeah.
has traveled to get to our counter.
Yep.
Please come see me.
Yep.
Absolutely.
He's doing everything right here, folks.
I agree.
Absolutely.
There's nowhere on social media for you guys, right?
Oh, not for us. No,
Okay, I
we're
didn't
just
think so.
guests.
You're just
trying not
Let's
to
stay under
embarrass
the
you.
radar.
Well, if you want to follow up with me, I am at PureRaider1492 on all social media channels. If you want to follow up with the show, though, it is at My Bourbon Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you'd like to send us questions or comments, you can hit thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Give us a 5-star rate and review on iTunes. We're going to start reading out some reviews here soon. If you have something you want to say about the show, positive or negative, we'll read it out loud. Just give us a 5-star review. That's
We love the 5-star review.
Be
That's
fair to
important.
Perry. Brett and I are not always on the show, so don't hold that
Don't
against
judge
him.
the show by us.
And we really do appreciate it if you help us out, you share it around a little bit because other people need to hear the show as well. And, if you want to be a part of it, that's a really good way of doing that. Let's see, what else? Bourbonshop.threadless.com is where you can find all of the apparel and merch. Definitely going to have a shirt coming up here soon that says, I don't normally shoot bourbon, but when I do, I'd rather sip it. Or I wish that I had
Excellent,
sipped it.
excellent.
That is in the cards for sure.
And
I'm going to
if this-
trademark that.
Yeah,
by the way.
trademark
I know. I'll give you like a 5% residual on every
Mr.
on every
Ritter.
shirt. Yes.
Perry-
I'm going to go turn the volume up on the Derby. It's about to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
Nah,
No, the,
we're
bar-
still
the-
good. We're still good. We got.
The
How many
owner
minutes?
Probably a
slash
half hour.
bartender
You
slash
think that long?
I think 650 is
Yeah,
the
the,
is the
yeah.
best time.
But the
yeah.
volume's about to go up.
Well, I got one more plug though, and that's
Plug away.
patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast.
Patreon.
Patreon is awesome.
Please support the show for as little as $1 a month. That really does help us out. You get bonus content like episodes just for Patreon. We're starting to do live streams and Google Hangouts for Patreon exclusively. So if you've not done that yet, please go and do that. Again, that's patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast.
Hey, listen, we had mellow corn
Wish we did.
Unlimited Bookers and Murray Hill Club special release.
We
That's
have
awesome.
covered the gamut.
All
dude.
in the
covers
same
the
night.
yeah.
And loved
From the
every
same night.
minute of
From
it.
the bottom of the shelf
Absolutely.
to the very, very top. This
And it
bottle
was
is
all
$100, $180.
You
Wow.
guys keep
Awesome.
loving bourbon.
Yep, keep
Yeah,
loving
enjoy
it.
the Derby. Make your wagers right now.
Real quick, Perry.
It's a little late for that.
if this
Yeah.
podcast-
No, you still make your wagers.
If this airs before next weekend, Josh is humbled in not saying that his band would be playing at the one step from Nashville, Renfro Valley.
Renfro
Really?
Valley. That's epic.
That's awesome, man.
Iconic.
Yep, the Ranahans, Ranahans.
It will. This will be
So
out
this
on
will-
Wednesday,
yeah.
so you
Yeah,
have a
look
couple
us
of
up on
days.
Facebook.
You have a couple of days to get on board with that.
And let us
So-
not digress from the fact that his band will be playing on the very night, for the first time in the history of Renfro Valley, alcohol will be served.
What?
Yes,
That's awesome.
beer is available for your perusal as you listen to the
Okay.
Ranahans.
That's the
All
other
right,
word.
fair enough.
And listen, they do some Maverick songs amongst all their playlists, and I love the Mavericks. So yeah, on board.
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
Mavericks tunes.
Love
We
the
absolutely-
Mavericks. Raul Paulo.
There's no better vocalist.
Mallow.
Great vocalist. Anyway,
Well, thank you guys, the three of you all, for being on this episode. It's been so much fun. I've really enjoyed having you guys on. Noel, thank you. Congratulations on the opening of the Burley Market and Cafe.
Cheers.
I will be back here. I
Absolutely.
hope that people come to Cynthiana to visit you as well.
fantastic.
We will see you next week, but until then, I'm Perry, and this is my Bourbon Podcast.
Cheers.